smooth ride. She's such a smooth ride.
How you doing? Wednesday morning. This week is flying by. It's pretty easy when it's 55 degrees in the morning when you wake up at 4 o'clock. That's
the weather
awesome.
makes a difference, doesn't it, Dusty?
Positivity,
Yep. You're in
reps.
such a much better mood.
I mean, I woke up this morning. The first thing I think about is like, ooh, it's gonna be nice to get outside and do a little exercise-a-roni.
That's the thing. I went and had my
Right.
physical yesterday, and I got a good heart-to-heart with the doctor a little bit yesterday.
You still have to turn your head and cough?
No.
You're not 16
I'm not
anymore?
16 anymore. I'm not trying out for the the JV soccer
They
team
have
or whatever.
fully dropped.
We're good to go in that department, right?
You're a rock star.
And we were talking about, all these things that they check you for these days, the cholesterol and all this kind of stuff. And my doctor looks at me. She goes, look. She goes, if you're going to exercise like you do and eat right like you do, I'm not really worried about anything else.
You're
So
a rock star.
you get out there, you move your body around today, and you're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna. Let me see what I'm looking for. You're going to prevent everything from happening to your body if you exercise and eat right. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
So afterwards, Bob went and got a double cheeseburger from Chicken. Hey, she said I got some rent, I got some room.
I got some room. I built some things up over the years.
I'm gonna
But
eat a double cheeseburger and take a nap.
I mean, all these people popping pills and trying to do things to stay fit or whatever, or get healthy, eat right and exercise. It's pretty simple. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple, right? But I know people don't want to do that kind of stuff, so I get it. I understand.
And some people need a little bit of a
a
start me
boost.
up.
Oh yes, they do. Yeah, including yours truly, man.
Yeah,
Including yours
sometimes,
truly.
Sometimes you got to get that little push.
Yeah, you do.
It's like,
Absolutely.
why do I feel different? Oh, thanks, science.
Yeah, right. You gained 30 pounds this winter. Get your ass back to working out and doing your thing.
Or if you really want to work out and lose weight, just go watch the movie The Whale.
I don't think I've seen that movie. No.
Brutal.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's great. It's a great movie. It's just, you will be...
It's about a fat guy or something?
It is.
Okay.
Brendan Fraser won Best Actor last year at the Oscars for it. So basically what happens is he is a teacher, a college teacher, who had a family. He split from his family for reasons. He had a different lover.
Right.
And then his daughter comes back in his life, and he's just this massive man. Just a massive. I mean, just like 650, 700
Oh, my
pounds.
God.
Hell yeah.
Did he lose all the weight at the end?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
It definitely ends in a different way.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Got a bush? What the hell?
But no, if you're watching the live stream on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, you'll see that Bob has a cheese head on. Mm-hmm. Your wife is doing something pretty awesome, Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars for the BMA Foundation.
Right.
And so we need to raise some money, right?
Yeah, and we've had some really cool people, like you mentioned yesterday, the people from Martin City came out and gave her a donation. That was nice.
Yep, big time donation from Martin City Brewery.
huge.
Matt Moore and company out there. Thank you so much for that, right?
The former quarterback of the Chiefs.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. But no, that was cool. So we are going to put together a Fescoe marketplace because we want to help Jen, and you can help Jen as well. I've got some stuff at my house. The reason why we're calling it Fescoe's Marketplace, the obvious in the first part of the prefix, right?
Right.
Like the Fescoe. And the suffix is Marketplace because we know how Marketplace works, right? It is the internet's version of a garage sale.
Right.
Cody and Gold do theirs for the Negro Leagues Foundation. It does a lot of money. You guys are special. I've got some stuff at my house. I'm sure Mac has a few house slippers that he's willing to get rid of. Maybe a dog. By the
Mac
end
is
of the
trying
week.
to buy my stuff right
Yeah,
now.
Mac came in here and was like, dude, this is awesome. I'm like, you are the worst person for garage sales. Like, you're not supposed to buy it.
Right.
I will say that, there's your people. But like, there's some stuff in my house. And the reason I say marketplace is because you might have stuff in your house. And I know I do. And I'm sure you do. You brought it all up here. You have the wedge of cheese on your hat.
Yeah, I
You
got
some
that, yeah.
credentials. You never know what people will buy these days. One person's junk is another person's treasure.
Got my high school football jersey right here.
Does it still stink?
No, I mean, I didn't even know I still had
You should have
this,
just
quite
worn that
honestly.
today.
I thought about it, but I don't
Number
know.
70, did you play guard?
I was a left tackle. Yeah,
Are you still available?
I am still available. Yeah, the Chiefs could be looking for somebody.
Put that thing on and head to Indianapolis, man.
Not with that, I just headed down to One Arrowhead Drive and go, hey, Brett, I'm here. I can help the team.
Yeah.
You know, people have shown up to the facility thinking that they can help the team before, right?
Normally they're field goal kickers.
It's been a lot of different individuals that have done that.
Oh,
and back in, I want to say it was like 2001 or 2, or right in that era, the Royals held an open tryout at Johnson County Community College. So, of course, I'm going to go try out for the Royals,
Is that
right?
when Troyal showed up?
No. So I went and you know, he showed up at spring training. I went to Johnson County Community College, right? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to try out. It was a great bit. My friend Paul showed up with a briefcase like he was my agent. It was a bit, right?
Right.
And I get down there, and there's a lot of people trying out. They think they're going to make the ball club, bro. Like, and I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm talking 50 to 100 people showed up to this thing, right? One guy drove in from Pennsylvania on his last dime with gas to try to make the Royals. Okay, this is how sad it was.
That's the guy I hope makes it.
He didn't. And then so like they did the first round of tryouts, right? And they had cuts, and I made the first cut, right? Because they knew that this was a bit. They wanted to keep me around, and I'm like, well, I can't. I got to go do a radio show later this afternoon, so I'm going to leave. And that guy does look like a douche too. And then the people got mad at me because I left and I took like a quote unquote roster spot from these guys who they thought were going to make the. I never forget it. There were dudes in jeans and gloves trying out for this thing. Like, it was really sad that these guys were trying to hold on. I was just doing it as a radio bit. And so I know people show up to these teams on both sides of the park. Probably it's Sporting and the Current too, thinking they can help the team. So if you can help the team, go for it. But we're going to help the team, and we're going to help Jen. I got a Super Bowl banner that I found. I think this is from
Someone's buying that for sure.
Houston Super Bowl where New England beat Carolina. Mac's like, oh, I want that. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah, so
I think it's great.
So April 21st is a Monday.
Okay.
We'll do it on that day.
All right.
April 21st, Facebook Marketplace to support Jen Fescoe.
Yeah.
For her and the foundation as well. Raise some money. I have an item that I think will sell and make a lot of money.
What do you got?
I have a autographed, signed photo of Derek Thomas.
Oh, I love that.
From like
That's great.
From like 95.
Wow. Okay.
And it's in my Cal Ripken signed book. That's not going.
That's
Sorry.
not. That's fine. No. You keep what you want, right?
I've got that, and I have a HBK Shawn Michaels autograph.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
if you want the Heartbreak Kid signature, the showstopper,
right.
the sexy boy, you want that? Then you got it. You got Derek Thomas signed photo. I'll put that on there. We'll do a bidding thing.
Nice.
We'll get with some people, try to make some money for her, and move on and move forward with that.
Yeah, I figured if Woj can sell his junk yesterday for the St. Bonaventure, NIL, we can sell my junk for the for the BMA Foundation. Got a license plate with a Kansas sticker on it. This is really good if anybody's interested in something like
Garden
that.
State.
I've got a brush that I use when I umpired Little League baseball to kind of wipe off home plate.
$1.
I mean that's a good bid right there. And I got a lot of press credentials I've gotten in the past. Mac is very excited about the NBA playoffs, Game A, first round from the Spurs that I got back in 2000. He's very excited to have that one. And, of course, I've got the ultimate in the collection that I think everybody's going to want to get their hands on, a Bronson Arroyo autographed CD. I mean, you can't beat that. So,
I feel like he would have been a cool guy to kick it with back in the day.
He was. Yeah, he was a cool dude, man. Yeah,
He had
good guy.
He had cornrows.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and a cup of coffee at the big league level. You always seemingly wanted more from Bronson Arroyo.
And
but
a
anyway,
high leg kick.
a high-ass leg kick, yeah.
No, so I think we're full force into spring. Obviously, you have the NFL Combine going on. A lot of audio from there. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yesterday was a eventful day. I got to get on the golf course for the first time in a year. So
Nice.
First round is in the books. Didn't play great.
You shot an 88, okay? And I'm going to jump
but
in
at
and
a course-
I don't
at a-
care.
okay.
You shot an 88. That's pretty awesome, man.
Okay,
Stop saying it's not. Like, an 88 is pretty good.
At a place where I've shot 79 before.
Okay, but you haven't played in 6 months. I mean, you've been cooped up.
Right.
It's your first round. You got an 88. Like, I'm like, that's a pretty damn good round. And he's on here on Twitter complaining about that. I'm like, damn, I could shoot an 88 on the first hole.
Yeah. Humble and hung. But no, it's it was a fun round. And then all of a sudden, and if you think I'm lying, text line, if you think this story isn't true, I can get my buddy Mike on the phone, who I know is listening, driving to work. Mike, how are you doing? We're on hole 18. And if people know Hutalo out in, I don't know, Harrisville, Pleasant Hill, whatever the hell it's called, hole 18 shares the green with hole 9. It's just like a giant green. and I'm on the green barely. He's chipping on the green, and all of a sudden he's like, smells like reefer. And I was like, well, it kind of sounds like reefer. And there's a group behind us on the 18 tee box. He's like 10 feet from the green. I'm on, so I'm putting, he's chipping. And we just start to hear this commotion in the background. And I'm like, hang on, turn around. And there's this guy who was on 17. So 17 is a par 3 island green. 18 is just a straightaway par 4. And these guys are getting ready to tee off on 18 behind us. And the group behind them has this Billy Badass drive his cart up to him. And all we hear is, F you, man. F you. I'll knock your teeth out. You're not a tough guy. I will F you.
Okay.
I mean, you could have heard him from the second hole, which is across the parking lot and past hole 1, obviously. And he's trying to hit, and I'm just like, no, wait, dude. There's something going on. And like, he is in these guys' faces, just yelling at him like it is nothing in the world that has pissed him off more than these guys in front of him. So anyways, he finally gets his words out. He says it like 4 times. I'll knock your teeth out. You're not a tough guy. I'll F you up. Over and over.
And what was this
again.
over? Do we even know?
So then at this golf course, for some reason, when they designed it, they made the clubhouse 2 football field lengths away from the parking lot. So normally what you do is one guy takes the golf cart to the return cart area. The other guy in his car comes and picks you up. So after my buddy Mike picks me up and drops me off, we're like, hey, see you later, man. Love you. Take care. Talk to you later. Okay, boom, he's gone. All of a sudden, the guys that were getting yelled at by Billy Badass pull up, and of course, me and you would do this. I'm like, the hell did you guys do to that guy behind you?
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, well, it's the first time we played all year, so we each hit 2 balls. It's a twosome. So really, it's like, and they were playing at a good pace. They weren't like causing delay or whatever, which agree or disagree with what you want to say about that. But first time anyone's been out, February 25th. You haven't played a round of golf since before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we were just each playing 2 balls. We weren't playing at a slow pace. And from hole like 15, he had been heckling them. The guy behind him was like, hurry up. And finally on hole 18, they turn around. They're like, dude, shut up.
Enough, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he came over and I looked at the guys. I mean, they're, heavier set, but they're like, I was like, was he a bro? And they're like, yeah, we're not fighters, dude. We got our asses kicked, but like he had been heckling us for 3 holes. Finally, we had enough. We just said, shut up. He brought his cart up and he's like, obviously you heard it. I'm like, just get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, dude, we're going to drop this off and we're moving. I was like, not everybody can have fun on a golf course. And that's what I'm trying to think to myself. Like, how can you be that mad at that point when it's 64 degrees outside? You've been inside all summer or all winter. And you finally get out. And because 2 guys are in front of you going a little bit slower than you thought, again, you're on hole 18.
Yeah,
you're going to get your full round in.
Right.
It's not like you're on hole 12 and the sun's going down and you got like $100 on the line and you have to make a putt. You're 2 strokes behind your friend.
Right.
I don't understand tough guy on the golf course.
Well, it's like tough guy on the softball field, too. You see that guy a lot, too, and he always wears jersey number 69. And he does. And, I mean, it is a dead-on giveaway when you see that dude roll up with number 69. He's Billy Badass and wants to fight. I just don't understand why you want to go out on the golf course and pick a fight on a beautiful day when you should just be enjoying and be happy that you're outside,
I just don't get it.
It was a beautiful day yesterday. It was about as perfect as you could get.
Oh.
Just get out there and enjoy the sun and get your vitamin D and shut the F up, man.
You're playing golf on a Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Maybe you should go to work.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go back to the office instead of yelling at people on the golf course. What a douche.
I would just hate to be that guy's wife. Like, what'd you shoot today, honey? Start making dinner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Clean the floor.
We're having Alfredo. I said spaghetti.
I don't want any of that.
I want bolognese. God. That's basically spaghetti, honey.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Because if you're a jerk on the golf course, you're probably a jerk in everyday life, right?
I mean, probably. And I mean, it's happened before. Like, the worst is when you go to the tee box. Like, this happened with my buddies before. We went to the tee box at Adams Point, hole 10. Is normally sometimes they make you tee off on the back instead of the front. Giggity. And so we're on the 10th tee box, and this guy comes up, and him and his guys are already on the tee box. We are not late to our tee time. Let's say our tee time was like 8:40. We got there at like 8:35.
Okay.
And they're on there like swinging, getting loose, and like one of my buddies is just like, hey guys, when's your tee time? And they're like 8:50. We're like, okay,
cool.
And they're like,
they're
they're like, when's yours? We're like 8:40. They're like, oh, awesome. So we're like, yeah. So
Get out of the way.
And so, like, one of the guys has his ball on the ground, teed up, ready to go. We're like, dude, it's not. And then, like, finally, like, we're like, dude, what are you guys doing? Like, it's not your tee time. And the guy turns around and he's like, yeah, we're not going to have any tough guy blank today. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah, you guys want to be tough guys? And I'm like, and of course, I'm a loudmouth. And I was like, no, we just want to have our tee time. And he's like, oh, you got more to say? And I'm like, you know what, dude?
Okay,
go ahead.
fine. Just
I was like, go ahead, go play.
If it matters to you that
and
much.
One of my guys I play with, he's like essentially like a scratch golfer and can pipe it. And he goes, I'll tell you one thing. If they don't have a good pace, they're getting rained on.
Yeah.
And I was like, good for you, Tyler.
Did he rain on him eventually?
They didn't have to. He didn't have to.
Okay, good.
So, yeah, somebody says Richard of the Week, and it was only Wednesday.
Yeah, no, we had Richard of the Week on Monday with that Danny Hoskins. He's Richard of the Week, that guy.
Penis of a looking human. God, that guy sucks. All right, that's my golf story. That's my time to shine. Coming up on the other side, here on Fescoe and Dusty. Got a fun show today, but there is somebody that could be available. I don't know if it'll happen. Plus, there might be a chance that Trey Smith is not going anywhere, according to Mac. Jay Bigley at 645 as well. This is 96.5 The Fan. It is your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I'll tell you what, guys, generally we hear talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual issues. Today, I just want to talk to you about love and how important love is in life, because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most men, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts of the condition, and it's likely having an impact on you and your partner as well. At Heartland Men's Health, they have treatments that work when the pills or herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Some treatments can even have you last an hour or more. Heartland Men's Health is successfully treating men right here in Kansas City. So schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult with a licensed medical provider, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. They have an expert staff, and if you're like a lot of men, you could be having sex the day after your appointment. They have 3 locations to serve you in Overland Park, Independence between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. So call them today, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Well, those record low temperatures from a week ago, I think, are finally in the rearview mirror. Things are going to be a little bit nicer this week. And if you were driving last week, maybe driving a vehicle from Max Motors, and you had those heated front seats, the heated steering wheel, oh man, life must have been a lot easier, not to mention 4-wheel drive. And at Max Motors, they have everything you need to make sure the next time you encounter a storm like that, you don't have to deal with the inconvenience on the road or even just right there sitting in the vehicle. I'm talking about that new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, by the way, that's up to $15,000 off MSRP, stock number S250069. That vehicle has some of those features I just mentioned. And at Max Motors, they will be able to take care of you and walk you through the buying process to make sure you find the vehicle you're going to love. You got to finance with the dealer lender. The offer expires 3/3/25, but Max Motors has the best financing options to get you in that vehicle in the Midwest with the max trade-in values. Check out one of their 7 Kansas or Missouri locations. Or, of course, you can go online. Max Motors, the easiest place to buy a car, maxmotors.com.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on 2 wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Your old or broken phone can let you down, but at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence with a new line on My Plan and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. After all, you don't want your old phone to die on you when you're lost.
Perfect.
Or for your broken phone to glitch at the worst possible time.
Hey, can I get your number? Oh.
Trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad.
The game tips off. The NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or you want to bet that amazing fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your bets into a same-game parlay for a shot in an even bigger payout. However you want to play, right now is the perfect time to join because new customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 wager wins. Just remember my promo code KFNZ to get started today at your chance at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. On the Missouri side, checking 49 northbound. No delays from Belton to 470, and 71 northbound moves well from the Grandview Triangle into downtown. Metro Ford off Noland Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Kind of need the text line's help here. I want to learn how to make a chimichurri tonight because I want to put a ribeye on the grill. Because you know those ribeyes you get at like Costco that are like 18 pounds?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I don't need one to myself.
Right.
So
I want to slice it up.
Yeah, I want to do the thin strips, medium rare. And I want to get a couple twice baked potatoes from Hy-Vee because they're the best. There's not a better twice baked potato on the planet than a Hy-Vee. I don't know what it is. They're amazing. And then get a little chopped Caesar salad going. And then make a chimichurri to go right over the steak.
Here's what you do. It's just like cilantro and garlic and parsley and all that stuff and some sort of oil and just put it in your blender and blend it all up. It shouldn't be hard. I mean, you can find a good recipe like that online and do it. And I will give you a tip on steak, okay? Everybody thinks that when you're serving steak to people, you need one steak per person.
No,
not
anymore.
No, here's what you do. You get, say you're having 4 people. Get 2 steaks. Slice it all up. Present it already sliced. People eat so much less than if you gave them that whole steak on their table. Saves you money. Doesn't make people overeat. You don't have leftovers. You're not wasting food. The steak thing is unbelievable to me. Like, we do it at the house all the time. Like, the kid, we want steak. Okay, I'll get 2 steaks for 4 of us. You slice it all up in the nice slices and put it out there on a tray or a plate or something like that. They eat a couple pieces and it's gone and it's done. Nobody's hungry. Nobody's wasting food. And you save some bucks in that as well.
Yeah.
So pre-slice that steak when you're putting it out there. You don't need a steak a person.
Yeah, I just want to get a nice couple slices, throw that chimichurri
Chimichurri
over the top.
is great.
I
Red Door
love
Grill
it.
has an amazing chimichurri. I always get that instead of salad dressing, too. Just put that kind of on top.
Basically anything green.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Chimichurri, pesto.
Pesto's really good, too. So easy to make, too. Just open that jar and pour it on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So at Dusty Likens, send me your chimichurri recipes, and I will do my best to perfect it and do it tonight. So, Diana Rossini yesterday had on Scoop City a podcast. Was talking about
That's our guy in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, dude. No, it's Scoot.
Oh, Scoot.
Yeah,
Okay,
Scoot.
Scoot.
And also Hot Rod's out
That's
there.
right, Hot
roaming
Rod
the
too,
streets,
yeah,
probably.
oh, yeah.
Who knows? Nah, that dude's at the Ozarks already.
Yeah.
Hot Rod.
He is definitely down at the cave right now. Go, where is everybody? Sir, it's February.
That could be a podcast. Hot Rod, Fescoe, and Dusty Snow.
I like it. It could be good.
Yeah. This is Rossini on Trey Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs' future.
I'm interested to see what Kansas City does. Trey Smith is somebody that has been outstanding for them this season and the last few seasons, and we've seen how important protecting Patrick Mahomes has to be. And Chase, if you asked me, even just the day before the Super Bowl, like, tell me where Trey Smith's going to go, I probably would have picked it. I probably would have said New England, or I would have picked a team that I know needs an offensive line. But from what I can gather, Kansas City's making it a priority to try to keep him.
Oh,
so
really?
I think,
Not tagging him, try to get a long-term deal?
I think they're going to try to get a long-term deal done with him. I think they're going to try to make every effort. So we'll see if they're going to be able
That's
to
actually
get
huge
that
news
done.
because that's like the crown gem of the free agency class in my opinion.
Crown jewel.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the top 5 players who's
Crown jewel.
set to hit
said it
free
wrong
agency.
Bob Fescoe, what say you about Trey Smith staying in Kansas City?
I think it would be great if Trey Smith would stay in Kansas City. But I also say, if I'm Trey Smith, and I was talking to some people about this yesterday, and same goes with Justin Reed and Nick Bolton and anybody else who's a free agent right now. You've come this far. Do not sign a contract with anybody unless they knock your socks off and it's just something you want to do until you test that free agent market. And I do believe all of these guys are going to test the free agent market because some of the conversation I was having yesterday with some folks is like, they owe it to themselves. I'm like, yeah, they do owe it to themselves to test the free agent market. Not just in...
Especially that age.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there isn't no age to test free market. Look at Matt Stafford.
Right, and he owes it to himself too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as somebody's willing to pay you and you have a market out there, you've got to go capitalize on it. I even heard Bill Belichick kind of talking about it yesterday. Somebody was interviewing him at, I don't know, wherever he was with his girlfriend's coat half off, by the way. Did you see the girlfriend walking around with her coat half off?
Someone said it was odd and cringe.
It really, I mean, that's like going to a high school basketball game and watching the kids in high school dress. Like he's a 72-year-old with this 26-year-old. I can't imagine the conversations and the topics they discuss, right?
Max should be dating her in reality.
No doubt. No, yeah.
Seriously. I mean, I know he's happy and soon to be married, but that's the age group.
Right. Could you imagine a 72-year-old woman dating Mac?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I could. Yeah,
if it's Sama Hayek.
They only live. Yeah. I mean, but seriously, the age difference is so bizarre. But I did hear Belichick talking about free agency. And the guys do owe it to themselves to explore what's out there. And just talking to some people who have connections to some players yesterday is they're going to test the free agent market. They want to stay. Perfect scenario. They want to stay, but you have to go out there and see what's being offered. And look, I think Trey Smith should be a priority for the Chiefs because Diana Rossini said in that soundbite that New England needs an offensive line. The Chiefs need an offensive line too. There's work that needs to be
after
done.
The Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, we could all see, but we all kind of saw it all season long. Not having that left tackle just absolutely taxed everybody down the offensive line and made things worse for everybody down there. And so they need to secure that left tackle spot any way they can, but you don't want to weaken every other spot on your roster right now. And so Trey Smith, to me, could be one of those lifers here in Kansas City. I'd love to have him here full-time in Kansas City, but I will also tell him you were a 6th-round draft pick because people said you were never going to make it in the NFL, and you've turned into one of the best guards in the league. You got some money to make up from the draft. You got some money to make up going forward. Let's see what we can do and see what kind of deal we can come to that could keep Trey Smith happy here in Kansas City without busting your salary cap all up. And the Chiefs won't do that. They've never done that since Brett Veach has taken over, get into a contract that they know wasn't feasible, that would have an impact on the rest of the team. And so if they sign him to a long-term deal, that's great. They're good with that, and we can move forward. But if he tests that free agent market, and let's just use the Bears as an example, offer him this dump truck of money that he can't pass up, I'll never stand in a guy's way from going out and making their cash.
Right, and I think what the Chiefs essentially did week 15 to the end of the season is they had a slow leak in a tire. And instead of not having the money to go get 2 new tires, they just went to a tire store and patched
that thing up.
And it works. It goes for a couple, 100 miles or so, and then all of a sudden that patch wears off, and it's clearly you just have a flat.
Yeah.
And that's basically what happened to the offensive line. They ran into a big pothole, which was the defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles, which is probably, the best in football?
I mean, I think everybody's going to say that right about now, and you ran into Josh Sweat, who had the game of his lifetime, and he's going to get paid this offseason because of that.
That was definitely his shining moment. Plus you have Jalen Carter, who's a stud.
Yep.
You have because back in the day it was they're just going and drafting everybody from those Georgia national championship teams. Is it going to pay off? Clearly
it did.
It's done its job. But I mean, look, the Chiefs, a lot of priorities, right? You have Trey Smith, you have Nick Bolton, you have Justin Reed as that as well. You got to get another receiver to go with Rice and Worthy. You've got to get a running back in the draft. You've got to get help to get around this offense because he'll join us in about 15 minutes. Jay Binkley will say you got to continue to give Patrick Mahomes talent because as good as he is, he's always going to need some players around him to stay on this level that is the success of Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
And whereas later on today in the show, we'll get into where some people think he's a myth, which is absolutely asinine to think about that. And again,
people are stupid, just so you know.
Yeah, some people are dumb. But again, like
some people are dumb.
Yeah, we do have that drop. But like the thing is that I would love to have Trey Smith back. But one thing that we know that the Chiefs do is they don't overspend. Now, again, they gave Chris Jones a gigantic contract, well-deserved, and now Chris Jones is getting older, right? And you have a D-line that has an issue, right? You have one defensive lineman, not edge rusher like Karlaftis, but one defensive lineman under contract, and that is Chris Jones.
That is Chris Jones, yeah.
Omenihu is a free agent. A lot of people want to see him come back. There are a lot of different situations where you could see certain people coming back and certain people not. And when you hear Trey Smith's name, you think about where his name is connected to. It's with young quarterbacks that had an awful offensive line. You had mentioned, or Diane Garcia mentioned the New England Patriots. Drake May was running for his life last year, no pun intended. That's why a lot of people were kind of like iffy if he should start because they were going with the season with Jacoby Brissett. And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, Drake, go out there. And it's like, people are just pinning their ears back on the New England offensive line. The other thing, too, is the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams had a ton of sacks last year. Some self-inflicted.
Yes.
But a lot, he had nowhere to go, and then that kills your confidence as a quarterback. So when you have a young quarterback, you will pay for the offensive line. You remember when Patrick Mahomes got absolutely obliterated against that Tampa Bay Super Bowl.
Right.
What'd they do?
Spent money on Joe Tooney. Yeah, went out and fixed the offensive line, traded for Orlando Brown Jr., and, all that kind of stuff.
And you still have DJ Humphries as an option.
You do.
You got Kingsley.
Yep.
Who I know a lot of people aren't happy with, but again, the guy was a rookie.
Right.
So at least give him some sort of time to grow. But you look at obviously the defensive line as well. And the Washington Commanders have a guy that is a solid defensive lineman in Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
And they have given him permission to seek a trade, according to the Schultz report on Twitter. And that's a guy's name that, like, you put him and Chris Jones together, you're kind of getting sort of into that mold of, okay, if you had, Jonathan Allen, you bring back Omenihu on a friendly contract, and you have Chris Jones, you patch that. Like, I'm okay with that. Would you be okay with that, Mac, if you had Jonathan Allen, Chris Jones, and Omenihu?
Hell yeah. But the only concern for me is this team needs a lot, and you're going to have to give up draft picks. And they have said, right, they don't have a lot of draft picks at this point in time, and they have said that this year the draft is their free agency. And so what is Jonathan Allen, 31 years old and coming off a torn pec?
Yeah, 30 or 31.
What are you going to have to give up for him? But you're also going to have to give up picks, but then also sign the guy, right? Because that's clearly what he's looking for as these guys. These guys, like Matthew Stafford doesn't want to be traded because he hates LA. He wants to be traded because he wants dough, man.
And I heard, and again, Colin Coward's sometimes right. Colin got it right. Colin got it wrong. He said yesterday on the Herd that he thinks he thinks that Matthew Stafford is going to get a 2-year, $100 million deal, which is 50 a year.
I heard Boomer Esiason.
Which is what he wants.
Boomer Esiason said yesterday he thinks 3 for $150, and so that's $50 million a year.
That's
nuts, but I mean, you
welcome to the market.
But that's the market, and
thanks, Kirk.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll look at it, as the show moves along. But I mean, there are 9 other quarterbacks that are making $50 million or more in the NFL right now. That's a third of the league, basically. So that's the going rate for the quarterback. If you're paying over $50 million a year for Tua, I mean, you're not going to pay $50 million a year for Matthew Stafford. If you're paying $50 million a year for that guy in Jacksonville, which, by the way, did you see their GM yesterday? I mean, you want to talk about total cringe. The Jacksonville GM is total cringe. He's like 31 years old. He looks like he should be in NSYNC. And he had some just random stuff to say that was so bizarre. If you're a Jacksonville fan, or that one guy that's a Jacksonville fan, you're like, what is going on? We got a coach that does that and a GM that's saying some weird-ass stuff, man. So Jacksonville's quarterback makes $50 million a year. So Matthew Stafford asking for $50 million a year, that's the going rate right now for quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm glad we're not in that marketplace where we have to go out and try to find a quarterback. I mean, Patrick Mahomes only making $45 million. I'm sure that will change as the days move along and they try to move money around to get guys under contract and whatnot. But as far as trading for Jonathan Allen, I don't know that I would trade for Jonathan Allen, but if he's like a June 1st cut, I would absolutely go out and have conversations about signing Jonathan Allen. I just think where the Chiefs are right now, and the way that Brett Veach drafts, the draft picks are more valuable to me, in my opinion anyway, than they would be to trade to Washington to get Jonathan Allen back in return.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of fixing that needs to happen to this team because, again, you go to the Super Bowl, yeah, that's great, right? Like, it's awesome. You made it. But the way they got beat is just 7 different red flags.
Yeah.
Right? Like, offensive line got obliterated. Offensive line is going to get older on the left side. Like, Tooney's not going to play forever. He's going to play, maybe 1 year with Kansas City left, and then he's probably gone. So, again, a lot of things that need to be fixed on that offensive line. And, then there's other names out there like Armstead. Like, could that guy go to Kansas City? I don't know about what Armstead could do. Again, Brett Veach loves the draft.
Yeah,
he's been successful in there. Unless you want to nitpick the 3 or 4 misses he's had. But again, there's these things that when you look at these guys and you look and see what they've done and how they can affect this team in the future, you're going to have to revamp. Because what they say, like what did Nate Taylor say, a third of this roster is going to be gone.
Well, that's what every NFL team, a third of the roster's gone.
And it's how you patch it up and get it ready for the next season is to see if you're relevant for the next season. Because look, Cincinnati went to the Super Bowl. They haven't been back. They went to the AFC Championship game.
Right.
Beat the Chiefs, won the Super Bowl. Congratulations. They haven't done it since. Some teams never get back. Jacksonville made the playoffs. Been irrelevant for the last 2 years. It's about how you get better after you've been at your best.
Yeah, you got to change your roster over. I mean, I was looking at something out of Philadelphia this morning, and they're kind of up in arms because boy wonder Howie Roseman said, look, the roster's going to change over. There's going to be changes. I know we won the Super Bowl, but there's going to be a lot of changes. People may like them, people may not like them, but just bear with us as we change the roster. And I'm like, okay, that's the Super Bowl winning team saying that, and that's the right approach to all of this. Because if you try to run it back and you just kind of stay pat, you're losing. I mean, that's a concern for a lot of people every year in the NFL. All right, we're running it back. We didn't make any changes. You got to make changes. And that's why, for the most part, a third of everybody's roster turns over every year. That's why we're looking at a roster that had 7 guys from the first Super Bowl in 2020, basically, to where we are now, because they constantly turn over that roster. You stay young, you stay cheap, you stay fresh, you stay healthy. You get people in that want it as well. You don't get complacent. And so I love the roster turnover in the offseason. And it doesn't bother me if guys walk out the door because this team has still found a way to stay on top and to still be the premier team in the NFL. And going into this offseason, other than Philadelphia, you want to be the Kansas City Chiefs. You really do. And everybody's still going to want to play here. I know a lot of these free agents from just some conversations I had yesterday do not want to leave. They've made their home here in Kansas City. They do a lot of, charity work here in Kansas City, which says a lot about these guys. They want to be here in Kansas City, and they're willing to do what it takes to stay here in Kansas City because it is such a great place to be. And so you've got these guys that want to come back. You've got guys that are probably going to end up going elsewhere and finding new homes. And then you've got the draft that's going to come in. Like, this is an exciting time of year for a football fan. I know the Super Bowl was a bitter pill to swallow, but who hasn't moved on from the Super Bowl yet? Who hasn't gotten excited about all the rumors from the Combine and all the things that could potentially happen with this team?
No doubt about it. We'll get into some of that audio from the Combine of what Brett Veach had to say yesterday. Of course, he was on Cody and Gold as well. Andy Reid was on the drive with Carrington and Rob. But it is...
I'm loving it. Well, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Which means it is the Fescoe, Dusty, and Mac poll question of the week on a Wednesday. And with the roster changing over and names that are close to a lot of people's hearts here in Kansas City, there are 2 names that we want to bring up on the poll question. Who do you want to see the Chiefs bring back? Trey Smith, Nick Bolton. It's very simple. I know a lot of people, and I think, in my opinion, what I think, and again, this is on the Fan 965's Twitter page or X page, who do you want to see the Chiefs bring back, Nick Bolton or Trey Smith?
I think it's going to be a runaway.
I think it's Trey Smith, and it's going to be like 90%.
I do, too. I think I'd be stunned. Well, I shouldn't say stunned, because the way people vote, and, he went to Mizzou, and people love that connection as well.
He's the quarterback of the defense.
He's the quarterback of the defense. He's a great football player. I want Nick Bolton back, but Trey Smith, to me, is more valuable than a middle linebacker is, right? You can go out and find that guy, and the Chiefs have done a nice job of always finding linebackers, right? It's kind of been like the running back position for him. Not going to be a huge superstar, but they're going to have somebody in there that's going to play good. Leo Chenal you draft, Drew tranquil you go out and sign. Like both of those guys have been
cheap.
And yeah, exactly. Sign cheap. I mean, and that goes back to Bolton too. Like that's another guy. Do you remember the dirt cheap when they used to do those in the Blues games? Cheap.
Oh, yeah.
The liquor store.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Cheap.
Is that still a thing? I wonder if that is cheap.
Pete Rose once dressed up as a chicken in wrestling.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got tombstoned by Kane.
Was this after gambling or before
This is like
banning?
this is like probably 1999.
Okay, so he was already banned from baseball at that point in
He was
time.
banned
okay.
at what, like 80?
I want 89, I think, because that's when Bart Giamatti died. He was only commissioner for like a half a minute.
Yeah, he came out in a chicken costume, the same one as like the cheap. Kane put him in a tombstone, snapped his neck.
I mean, my goodness, Pete Rose, sad. But Nick Bolton, like you can find that middle linebacker somewhere else. And so if you're asking me, it's all about Trey Smith. And Nick Bolton should test the market as well, because I think there's some value for Nick Bolton out there. How much, I don't know. But this is where the Chiefs make great decisions. And if Nick Bolton ends up walking and going somewhere else, have confidence that Brett Veach and company are going to find that guy that's going to fill in and replace Nick Bolton, and you won't even miss a beat.
And there's also another linebacker, according to Adam Schefter, breaking news from Mac's old team in Tennessee. The Titans have granted permission to former Pro Bowl linebacker Harold Landry to seek a trade. Landry started all 17 games last season, finishing with 71 tackles, 9 sacks, 18 pressures, and 4 pass deflections. The 28-year-old Landry has 31.5 sacks in the last 3 seasons.
And he's going to want to be paid as well, right?
No doubt about it.
Man, that's a good player. It's a really good player.
Yeah, so I mean, like, who do you want to see come back? That is our poll question of the Wednesday. Trey Smith, Nick Bolton. We'll ask Jay Binkley that same exact question on the other side. We know he's a defensive guy, but we know he's a gridiron guy in the trenches when it comes to the offensive line. Jay Binkley joins us on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty with Mac on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, ask yourself this question. What are your financial goals? What are your financial goals for the next calendar year? And how are you going to reach those financial goals? Maybe you have a wedding coming up. Maybe you've got some college tuition due. There's a lot of things that come up in life that are expensive that you have to find a way to pay for. Golden Oak Lending can help you get to your financial goals. They have helped us out so many times over the last decade or so. These guys are awesome. We have our mortgage through, and I love Golden Oak Lending, and I couldn't recommend them any higher than what that I'm doing right now, because these guys will get you to your financial goals. And the best part about Golden Oak Lending is their free mortgage checkup. It's a conversation where you tell them what you're trying to do, and they're going to sit down and they're going to listen. They're going to take notes, and they're going to figure out a way to get you to those financial goals. And if they've got a plan that's in place right now that can be better than what you currently have, they'll let you know about it. If not, they'll say, we'll get back to you in 6 months when rates change and things happen. Maybe there'll be something better back then. Golden Oak Lending is always looking out for you, the client, number one. So take that free mortgage checkup, right? It's risk-free. There's no paperwork. There's no credit card required. It's just a conversation, and you'll never have to pay for an appraisal up front. If they don't close your loan for any reason, they pay for your appraisal. And you're going to go 2 months without making a mortgage payment when you refi. So that leads you to May before you're writing that check again. So call them at 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD, and let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-426-0177. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-426-0177. 800-426-0177. That's 800-426-0177.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads, race car bobbleheads, little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Your old or broken phone can let you down, but at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence with a new line on My Plan and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. After all, you don't want your old phone to die on you when you're lost.
Perfect.
Or for your broken phone to glitch at the worst possible time.
Hey, can I get your number? Oh.
Trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad.
When the game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you miss the first few minutes of the game or you want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now's the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to join today. That's FanDuel.com/Alex for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets with expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Support brought to you by KRT Muscle Cream, making your way on the Missouri side. 71 northbound starting to slow just a bit between 87th and Gregory. Past that, things move well into downtown. A body of motion stays in motion until you feel that first muscle tighten. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Learn more at krtrelief.com. That's krtrelief.com. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Notable players that have been granted permission to seek a trade this offseason so far: Harold Landry, Jonathan Allen, Cooper Kupp, and Deebo Samuel.
Which one of those four, if I said you could have one, who would you take?
Really?
Yeah.
Deebo.
It would be Deebo? Okay. All right.
You put Deebo with Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy?
Yeah.
Travis
I was thinking
Travis
Landry
Kelce
on the defensive end would be good too, you know?
Yeah. Deebo in that offense with Mahomes, he'd be your third option. Kelce would be your fourth option, and then whatever running back you draft in the third round, which is loaded with like 15 to 20 running backs in this draft. Even Brett Veach had hinted about running backs in this draft. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not going to go Cooper Kupp?
No, I mean, either one. I mean, I just think Deebo's more dynamic.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I saw a story yesterday, Deebo's fat.
That means I'm morbidly obese.
He's out of shape, you know. I'm like, okay, now what are we doing here? But that's a hell of a list of four dudes that have been, granted the ability to seek a trade, right?
Right. Speaking of fat, did you see the coldest photo in sports in the new year?
Which one?
Dallas's general manager at the Lakers game last night against Luka.
No.
And it just shows Luka looking over, and he's sitting there just like a disgruntled look on his face, like, son of a buck.
Well, see, that like
triple-double from Luka.
Triple-double last night for Luka, it just goes to show you that these guys,
But
man,
he's
there's a lot
fat.
of times that they just dog it out there, right? You can just go out there and do a triple-double against your old team. You need to be doing that every single night.
Speaking of someone who's fat, but PH fat,
Yeah.
Jay Binkley joins us here on a Wednesday.
It's time for the College Football Report with Jay Binkley.
I'm still not sure I'm not Dusty's dad, but regardless.
On your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
That's right. It's Wednesday, 6:45-ish. It's Jay Binkley time. Mr. Binkley, how are you loving this weather, man? It is full-on short season, my guy.
No, it really is. I had a fun time. I was at a Hoots Hollow yelling at these dudes that were in front of me. They hit two balls. I wanted to smash their face in, man.
Oh,
yeah, I love being
dude, it was so crazy, man. He was just like, it's like he found out the guy in front of him was like cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. He said, he's like, you're not a tough guy. I'll knock your teeth out. F you. 4 consecutive times.
That's when somebody says they don't like a running back in the 7th round. That's Binkley's reaction.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I also was like in the mindset, like, if you're going to do all that talking, either do something about it or shut up.
That's right. And typically that person would get smoked.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
I think
no
this
doubt.
guy had like 5% body fat, was juiced out of his mind. But Binkley, we asked the poll question today. Who do you want to see the Chiefs bring back more, Trey Smith or Nick Bolton? What does Jay Binkley think of that?
Trey Smith. You got to bulk that offensive line, man. There's one thing you got to think about before anything. What helps Mahomes? It's Trey Smith.
Mm-hmm. And that's where that seems to be your like MO this offseason, Jay, has been, does this help Mahomes?
Yeah, that's the question, I think. And I remember sitting there, we did at Center Block a couple years ago, that draft night, and I'll never forget that Friday night. It's like, all right, there's got to be, we did our character concerns out there, and it was like, this has got to be all about Mahomes. And that's when they drafted 2 offensive players, and Rasheed Rice and Wanya Morris, and that was it. Like a couple years ago, that was the only offensive guys they got. And I said, all right, tonight's the Mahomes night. You got to make it about him because, again, like I said, you hit that quarterback one time, you got to protect him. I definitely would go Trey Smith over Nick Bolton. I like Nick Bolton a lot, but
right.
Let's face it, what helps the team more?
Yeah, we're talking with Jay Binkley. Your birthday's coming up next week, Jay. So on Tuesday of week next, it is your birthday. What do you want to see the Chiefs kind of accomplish at this combine for your birthday? What would be the perfect birthday gift for you?
It's going to be fun. I think Thursday's going to be a lot of fun. That's when the defensive linemen do their drills and stuff. And we'll see what we see at the combine. The combine is watered down a tad bit at this point, but looking forward to that. And I'll be doing the nights that night, so I'll be able to recap what went on that day in the defensive line. But I want to see the Chiefs really work on defensive line, corner, because I think that's what they're going to go in the first round, and definitely wide receivers.
So you think they're going
wide receiver
corner in the first round?
We had them going corner in the first round only because of the quality of player. It would be a stretch, I think, to get a wide receiver sitting there at 31. What can you get at 31? Quality player, it's a corner or a defensive lineman, because they definitely could utilize those type of guys. But it comes down, usually I'm like best player in the position of need, but it would be a stretch to grab anybody outside of that, because I do think you can get a really nice day one player on defense at 31.
Where does the combine rank on Jay Binkley's offseason ladder of importance when it comes to free agency? You get the schedule release, you get combine. Where does the combine rank for you, Binkley, when it comes to the information that you and Unacero do for your Character Concerns podcast?
I love it. It did mean a lot more a couple years ago when we did it, because then it became, all right, let's look at what these guys ran in the 40 and stuff like that. But more and more guys are opting out of it. Like Austin Genty, the running back from Boise State's not going to participate in on-the-field workouts at the Combine. Shedeur Sanders not going to work out at the Combine. More and more guys are doing it. Matter of fact, last year only one quarterback ran the 40-yard dash. That was it. And guys are cherry-picking what they're doing. Either they're really good at the broad jump, they're doing that, or they're doing the vertical, and they wait for the pro days. Like the pro days have replaced basically the Combine as far as where a lot of guys do their workouts, and they go back, they play with their friends, you're able to throw to your players on your team at your pro day, and you feel comfortable. That's great and all, but I want to see players when they're not comfortable. I want to see players get used to throwing to guys they're not used to doing. I know that kind of goes against the chemistry aspect, but when you go to an NFL team, you're going to be playing with guys that you're not accustomed to, that aren't, you don't wake up in your own bed. You're sitting there up at training camp and getting used to new players. So I'd rather see that. But the pro days have really replaced that. The combines really become about the interviews and trying to impress people. Yes, the depth those guys do run, which is important for the mid-round picks and late-round picks. A lot of the first-rounders really cherry-pick what they do, and so it's a little bit different. I do enjoy the combine. I will watch every second of it, to be honest with you, but it is watered down because the pro days have really replaced a lot of that.
And this is an important time for Brett Veach, too. I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that could be had via trade, but that means you have to give up draft picks. He's so good at drafting players and can, kind of building this roster through the draft. Why do you think he has so much success in that, Jay?
The talent evaluation, and you look at that front office, it's the one part of this team that's been grabbed. People have gone out, like Mike Borgonzi, the assistant GM, going to the Titans. It's, Chris Ballard, John Dorsey, Brett Veach. All three of those guys were GMs in the NFL at the same time, and they all came from this tree. Ryan Poles in Chicago comes out of this tree. So it's the one area, even though people really aren't cherry-picking the coaching staff for this team, they are the front office. Like, the front office does that because of how good they are and how good Brett Veach is, sitting there and finding a Kareem Hunt, watching, MAC football, even though he's an SEC scout with the Eagles when he came here, which, you don't become SEC scout unless you're probably the best because they've had more players drafted than anybody, but that's what he did in Philadelphia. And Brett Veach just knows what to do. And as far as rebuilding the team, like I said before, my favorite quote ever is when he held up that Lombardi after the Super Bowl 57 win against the Eagles, and he said, "This is what a rebuild looks like." And, he built that team. He, a seventh-round running back in Isaiah Pacheco. The Chiefs did not have a ton of money to go spend in free agency, but he did it through the draft. I mean, you look at that draft 2 years ago, it was unbelievable. Guys are playing all over the field for the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, there's going to be some misses, but that's what happens. I mean, every GM is going to have misses. And I remember 2 years ago they went to camp. 21 of the 22 guys that they drafted, of the previous 22 draft picks, 21 of them were still on the team, either on the practice squad or the roster. And that's insane. And, yeah, other teams might be able to say that, but the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl, and they had that many draft picks on the team. They are careful what they do. Sky Moore obviously didn't work out. Rashee Rice did. Xavier Worthy did. But when you're taking one wide receiver, you got to be right. And he's been right the last couple of draft picks, even though that's what he does. And the other thing that he does, I think, is consult with people. Like Steve Spagnuolo is the defensive back guy. And what he supposedly does with Andy Reid is, he said it on McAfee a couple years ago, is he gives Andy Reid a handful of guys and says, all right, these are probably, don't look at all the guys, kind of look at these are the kind of the guys we're looking for, and give your advice. So a good general manager seeks advice of others, and Brett Veach was always that guy as a scout that the GM kind of relied on, and he liked his voice heard. You always hear Andy Reid talking about how Brett Veach would stump for somebody, and he wouldn't shut up about a guy, and that's all I wanted to talk about is the draft picks. And he does that, I feel, with the scouts that he has, that he listens to them. He doesn't just, in my opinions, the only one that matters. No, he listens to other people, and I think that's what makes him successful.
Well, Binkley, that is a good quote, but this one's better.
It's a big bundle of suck dust, man.
I'm glad you're not a leap year baby to actually have your birthday next week.
Yep.
And what do you got coming up on the Character Concerns podcast next week with you and Onacero?
It's going to be a full review of the Combine. This week we looked at some of the players that we'd be watching at the Combine, and we'll talk about the numbers if they do things of the sides, because that's the thing, too. Guys are listed at 6'3" and 6'2", and they get to the Combine, and they're 6 foot or 6'1". So that stuff does make a difference. So we'll go over a lot of the numbers and who stood out at the Combine and who didn't.
No doubt about it. Jack Caglione, 6'5", 250. Love that guy as well. So, Binkley, it is baseball season, combine season. It is Jay Binkley season. Rumor season.
Rumor season.
Yeah, there you go. So, Binkley, take care, enjoy the weather, and try not to kick anybody's ass on the golf course.
Yeah, that's right, man. But, hey, they can't have two balls, man. You play one. Okay. One.
Fair enough. They were playing quick.
Man,
Jay Binkley, take care, buddy.
All right, guys.
That is Binkley. Coming up on the other side, Clark Hunt said it way back on Radio Row with Bob, myself, and Mac here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Royals.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, if you're headed out on spring break, you're going to need to park that car at Park and Go. So make your reservation now. It is so simple to make a reservation for all covered parking at Park and Go. And that's what you want, your car protected when you're out of town. And Park and Go does just that. So as soon as you make that flight reservation, immediately go to bookparkandgo.com and make your parking reservation. Or you can use their easy-to-use app right there on your phone. Boom, it's done. Make sure you prepay. When you prepay, you're going to save a lot of money as well at Park and Go. And then you're ready to go. And on the day of your flight, you show up, you give them your reservation number, and they direct you right to that covered parking spot that they have reserved for you. And the bus meets you before you even get out of the car to take you right to the airport terminal. And you're there in no time at all. You're not stressed. You're not full of anxiety. You're relaxed when you get to the airport. And when you get back, it's even better. Everybody hates traveling, right? You come back, you're tired, you just want to get home. Grab your bags, walk off the plane, and there's the Park and Go bus. It's waiting for you. Jump on it, and it's right back to the trunk of your car. So join their frequent parker program like we did and earn points towards free parking. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in parking. Bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
Folks, it's time to rev up your engines and get ready for a wild ride for Ford Truck Month. And who better to bring you all the excitement than my favorite Ford dealer in Kansas City, Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City. Hey, Rob, what's going on?
Hey, Kevin. There are a lot of F-150s out there, but you're not going to find a better deal than Rob Seid Ford's $15,500 off brand new F-150s. That's right, $15,500 off. These savings only happen during Truck Month at Rob Seid Ford, so now is not the time to wait.
Rob Seid Ford is on fire.
Best price and best inventory at Rob Seid Ford. So many F-150s in stock. Don't wait because they won't last long. Biggest savings, best trade-in offers, all part of the Kevin Harlan VIP experience at Rob Seid Ford.
And I appreciate that. Like I've said before, Bobby, nothing compares to the quality and the professionalism at Rob Seid Ford.
Rob Seid Ford, 135th and State Line, ROBSIGHT.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Oh, Downy in the rinse change. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic at the KC Convention Center, March 7th through 9th on the Missouri side, Northland 35 southbound, really heavy with an accident before 435. Two right lanes are blocked, only the left lane gets by. Delays building quickly now beyond Missouri 152. Pheasants Forever National Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is coming to the Kansas City Convention Center this March 7 through 9. Join us for puppy and dog training seminars, a youth village for kids, and more than 400 unique exhibitors. More information at pheasantfest.org. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
get back into it on a wonderful Wednesday. Don't forget, we do have our poll question up on our Twitter or X page. It is the Fescoe and Dusty fan page. You can check it out. It is very quite simply put. Who would you rather bring back for the Chiefs next season? There have been 222 votes in 25 minutes.
All right, how we doing?
Trey Smith leads at 66.7%.
Yeah, I figured it would be closer than the 90% that you had.
Okay.
You know?
33.3% say Nick Bolton. 66.7% say Trey Smith.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's kind of that number. That's a normal kind of election, where you think it's going to be a landslide, and that is a landslide. I mean, 66 to 33 or whatever it is. That's a big difference of people wanting Trey Smith back versus Nick Bolton. Again, that's not a knock against Nick Bolton. It just tells you, as Binkley talked about, we've got to help Patrick Mahomes, right? It's all about making Patrick Mahomes as effective as he possibly can be because he's the franchise, and eventually he's not going to be the franchise anymore, and you want to maximize these years as much as possible.
We were in New Orleans, it seems like forever ago, about 3 weeks ago.
Was it 3 weeks ago now already? My God. Jeez, wow.
Felt like we were there for 3 weeks.
Yeah. 8 days in New Orleans. That's a lot.
That'll change you.
Yeah.
Mac went from 26 to 35 in about 7 days.
Real fast. Made a nice new friend and everything. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. But Joey Chestnut is
That's right.
friend.
Uh-huh.
You guys want a picture with me? Not
No,
really.
no, we really don't.
All right, we just
Yeah.
waiting to talk to our friend Jay.
Yeah.
But Clark Hunt, the CEO and owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, sat down with us, and we asked him about Travis Kelce that while back ago.
I certainly think so. I think he's enjoying playing the game. He's clearly one of the greatest tight ends of all time at this point, but I think he loves what he's doing.
So that's Clark, right?
Yeah, and that was your owner of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And again, sorry to admit this, heavy bias, right? Like, he obviously wants to see Travis Kelce back. And from what we saw yesterday at the Combine, that seems to be the way it's going to go. We're also in the season of Chris Jones tweeting out,
right?
My guy's got to come back. You can't go out like this.
Who is he talking about, though? Was he talking about Trey?
No, come on. And, Kelce is one of those, all-pro, classic NFL players that you would think that maybe you don't go out like that with a Super Bowl loss. His brother didn't do it.
Right.
He's got one last ride in him for this next season. And Brett Veach at the Combine yesterday as well. And this was what he had to say about Travis Kelce's return as well.
That's been the number one question here. And look, I think the way we're handling this is, in terms of deadlines, I've been hearing that a lot. I don't think there's a deadline with a guy like Travis. His communication with us after the season is that he was playing, and we look forward to having him back next season. If something does transpire in the next few months where something other than him playing pops up, then we'll deal with it. But I would say that where we sit right now, that Travis will be back next year, and again, looking forward to having him back.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the talk all along. I don't think there was ever any serious talk about Travis Kelce retiring other than for, clickbaiters out there. And as we said, we asked the owner of the team 2 weeks ago now, 14, 15 days ago now, is Travis Kelce coming back? He goes, yeah, I think so. I mean, there's no reason to believe that he's not going to be coming back to this roster. But it is low-hanging fruit to talk about whether or not Travis Kelce is going to come back because he's such a big celebrity, right? He's a superstar more than a football player at this point in time. So there's a lot of people interested, a lot of people clicking on it. And since the Super Bowl has ended, I've heard a lot of slander. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot of nastiness directed towards, Travis Kelce. I was listening to Boomer Esiason talk about Travis Kelce yesterday. He goes, that guy just quit in the middle of the game. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, enough of this slander of Travis Kelce, because the one thing I can tell you is that Travis Kelce never quit on his team, never stopped playing, never stopped trying, never stopped caring. And Brett Veach actually addressed this yesterday about why Travis didn't have a good game. So he was battling a pretty big illness there before the Super Bowl. And I can tell you on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, I was talking to some people within, around the organization, and they're like, man, this Eagle thing is really bad. They've got the flu, knock on wood, we're okay. And then all of a sudden I heard as the day went on, like there's been an illness, and it could have been Travis Kelce, because the people that I was talking to kind of ended the conversation with me very fast. Got to go, there's an illness, and that was that. And so maybe it was Travis Kelce that they were talking about that was ill and sick. And look, if you go back and you look at the tape, right, people are saying, look, he's taken this play off, and we've got all these Zapruder films of people analyzing Travis Kelce's body language. There's a really good chance this cat was puking his ass off on the sideline. Have you ever tried to do anything with the flu or anything when you're not feeling 100%? You're slacking, you're dragging, you're bleh, right? We all have been there. Imagine playing in the Super Bowl and having the flu and gutting it out. I am so effing tired of hearing people talk about Travis Kelce dogging it in the Super Bowl. For a gentleman that's the best tight end of all time, that's going to the effing Hall of Fame, to sit there and even consider that Travis Kelce gave up or wasn't giving his all, that is complete and total slander. And I'm so glad that Brett Veach came out and said that yesterday, because that did need to be said. Because we're not making excuses, but it does need to be out there because of the way that people for the last 3 weeks have been acting like Travis Kelce is done, washed, and will never be good again, and he dogged the Super Bowl. And that's got to stop.
Yeah, I mean, I think his role obviously diminishes a little bit more in the next final season for him.
As it should,
right?
yeah.
Like he could be possibly your fourth option on offense, where for 9 years he was your number one option.
Right.
And that's just the evolution of
And
the
some
game.
years your only option, Dusty.
Yeah, and the thing that's crazy is next year, maybe we can have this discussion for about a minute or so. I still think Rashee Rice is your wide receiver one, but there could be some argument that you don't necessarily have a wide receiver one. You just have two stud wide receiver ones in Worthy and Rice.
Yeah.
Right? Worthy did exceptional this year.
Was
Rice
great.
did exceptional the year before. Now, when you look at this and you think about what's going on, is there necessarily a wide receiver one on this team?
And does there have to be a wide receiver one? I mean, I know, from fantasy standpoint, people want to know who the wide receiver number one is, and I'll take the Andy Reid approach. I don't really care about your fantasy team, and I don't think Andy Reid goes in saying, okay, this is wide receiver one, this is wide receiver two. They go in and they say, hey, Patrick, here's your weapons. Let's go out there and have some fun, right? And that's all you need to do. I hate typecasting or stereotyping or giving people titles when you don't really need to give anybody titles. And now, look, if you had, say, Tyreek Hill on the team, you would know who the number one wide receiver is, obviously. But you don't have that guy. So why try to make somebody a number one wide receiver or a number two wide receiver? Why not just line both dudes up with the tight end and say, all right, stop us, and who's ever open, that's who's getting the football, right? We don't need to put a label or a tag on the number one or number two wide receiver.
And somebody says, do you really want Kelce to come back at $17 million a year as the third or fourth option?
I'll be honest with you, yes. The answer is yes, and it's not my money. And if the team's going to afford it and pay for it, and it's not going to get in the way of their salary cap, why do we care?
I mean, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
To have that role. And who knows? Maybe Kelce's like, I've made a lot of money. I want this team to be successful. I want one more ring before I retire. I'll take a pay cut. I don't know if that happens, and that's not my decision to make for him, but obviously we'll see where that gets us to that point. Someone also says on the text line from the 913, the script is out there. Travis Kelce's coming back for his 13th season, and guess whose favorite number is 13?
Yeah, Taylor Swift, right?
I really hope he comes back.
Yeah, she generated $1 billion for the NFL last year, just so you know. I mean, there was a story out there. Some marketing firm looked into what she created. $1 billion.
So Goodell called Kelce.
That's right.
Hey,
we need you to come back. Yeah, we got to have you back.
But not because of you, because of your girlfriend.
Because of Taylor. Yeah, it's not about you anymore, Trav. It's about her. So the longer you play, the better off we're going to be.
Just keep playing.
Yes, obviously, if Travis Kelce wants to come back on one leg and make $40 million, the guy has earned it. He's one of those players in sports in Kansas City that you're paying for current, you're paying for past, you're paying for future. You're paying because he's Travis Kelce, and he's worth every damn dime of Travis Kelce. I hate the salary cap discussion because, first of all, the salary cap is fake. And second of all, if Clark Hunt wants to write a check, Clark Hunt's going to write a check.
And third of all,
some people are dumb.
We'll explain what we mean by that on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, if you think selling one home is complex, have you imagined trying to coordinate 2 home transactions simultaneously in different areas? That's where Dawn Sharp and her expert team turned complexity into clarity for families across our region. Recently, clients needed to sell their Pleasant Hill home while buying in Kingsville, just outside of Kansas City. Dawn's team didn't just handle both transactions, they made it look easy. Their deep knowledge of multiple markets combined with careful timing and coordination created a seamless experience for this growing family. What others see as challenging, Dawn's team sees as an opportunity to showcase their expertise. Whether you're buying, selling, or both, they provide the information and guidance you need to make confident decisions. And the Sharp Homes team is awesome because they can give you options. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, you can do that. Just contact them to discuss their instant offer program. In fact, contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can Google them, Sharp Homes team, see over 200 5-star Google and Zillow reviews, or just visit them at homesforsaleInKC.com. That's homesforsaleInKC.com, and start packing.
Hi, it's me, your USPS Ground Advantage shipment. Just left the warehouse.
I know, just got the notification.
Made it.
Yes, I know. I get all the updates.
Stay in the know with USPS Ground Advantage service. Visit USPS.com/in-the-know.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Heartland Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy, just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit. Once again, that's Indeed.com/credit.
What would you do if you could go back in time with the tap of a button?
Watch the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids?
How'd they do it?
Buy enough Bitcoin to purchase your very own private island.
Or maybe just skip the joke that flopped at the holiday party.
Unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to rewind time, but you can rewind live shows with the free Odyssey app.
Never miss your favorite sports talk again. To get started, download Odyssey and search for your station.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. Northland 35 southbound, very heavy this morning with accident before 435. You're down to one left lane getting by there, and delays stretch very heavy from Missouri 152 and building slowdowns towards Cookingham. Metro Ford off Nolan Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now, get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Diving right back into it. Don't forget our poll question up on The Fan 965 on X, Twitter, The Bird. Last time he gave somebody, well, I guess Matt gave somebody the bird like 4 days ago.
Daily for me. I gave somebody the bird this morning, okay?
Really?
Yeah.
4 in the morning?
Yeah.
He's out tweeting.
It was, I'm coming up 69, like 95th Street, and a guy's going the other way on the other side of the highway, divided highway, of course, and he flashes his brights. So I assume there was a cop up ahead or whatever, but I still, gave him the finger.
God.
Just a natural reaction, But there was no cop up ahead. I don't know why he was flashing the brights at me.
I flashed my brights at a cop this morning, not knowing it was a cop, because I thought his high brights were on, blinding me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like...
They probably were.
And they were.
Yeah.
And then I found out it was a cop. I was like, sorry, but
you
were.
You're blinding me, though. Either way,
Yes.
you're blinded by the light, wrapped up like a guy who wants to stop sports gambling, like a roamer in the night or something, right?
That guy sucks.
Jackson County's meeting with Jeff City today. They're headed down there, so if I get any updates throughout the show, we'll let you know what's going on. That's like I was telling Dusty before. That's like me going out and asking, who did I say?
I forget.
Yeah, we just saw her without the makeup.
Oh, you're talking about Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. It'd be like me going and asking Pamela Anderson out on a date. She'd be, we're a little bit too late for that. Yeah,
you missed the mark.
Probably missed the mark on this
She
one.
might say yes. She's been married like 6 different times and divorced. Did
yeah.
you watch that documentary on her?
I didn't, no, but once you sent the picture of her, she doesn't wear makeup anymore.
Good
and
for her.
she was at the SAG Awards, and so we kind of went on a deep dive, and, you forget, who she was involved with. And then I said to my wife, I go, didn't she beat up Chuck Finley? And she goes, no, that's Tawny Katane. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Tawny Katane beat up Chuck Finley. Imagine being a Major League Baseball player, get your ass kicked by your girlfriend.
Yeah, Pam Anderson was like Taylor Swift back in the day, dating celebrities. It was like Scott Baio, Bret Michaels, Tommy Lee.
Everybody,
wow.
yeah. I mean, and everybody wanted to date Pamela Anderson too. I mean,
everybody saw that video.
I mean, was that? I mean, I'm older than you, but that was my first kind of look at a Playboy. Right? Was like the Pamela Anderson one, and then I started to kind of go down the deep dive of I didn't realize how many covers she was on in Playboy. It's like every year it was a new Pamela Anderson spread.
Well, back in the day, it was like you got $1 million if you were the cover girl.
It was insane. Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal back then, man. Mm-hmm. Big deal back then. Mac, do you even know what a Playboy magazine is?
I'm sure.
Never heard of him.
Well done.
Do you know what a magazine is?
Never heard of him.
Nice. He's like, is that what goes into a gun?
Yeah.
13 times she appeared on the cover.
13 times?
Okay, yeah, 13
That's going to be
times.
number 1 on the books.
I mean, it has
more
to
than
be.
any other celebrity. Yep.
I would hope.
It has to be. I mean, I can't
What
see.
else could you actually have to look for? I mean, basically, Playboy was like softcore porn.
No, basically, it was. Yeah, you went into the store, it was in a plastic bag, you purchased it, and you went about your day. Or it showed up to your house in a black plastic bag, so nobody could see what it is. The mailman couldn't thumb through it when he was delivering. I was a subscriber to Playboy back in, when we were living in St. Louis. Well, why not? They had great articles.
Had you seen, Shel Silverstein, he wrote a lot of them, the missing piece, that guy?
Yes.
Do you know Shel Silverstein?
I do.
Do you know the nose picker? You know, where you stick your finger up there and that thing eats your finger and bites it off? Look it up. That's in Where the Sidewalk Ends.
Okay.
He bit the whole damn thing off.
What's the other one? Like a Place in the Attic? Is that another one?
Oh, God. I bet I have it in this box that I've been looking through for junk to sell.
We used to read, my dad would read a Shel Silverstein every night from the Playboy magazines. I'm kidding. Have you seen the video of P. Anderson and T. Lee?
Yes.
You know what a VHS is?
Yes.
I'm not in trouble at all. Now, we should be able to look at a little porn at work.
So some people are dumb.
Yeah.
John Frashella, I don't know.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's on X, and he has
isn't everybody?
Yeah. He has a tweet, and I'm not here to piss people off. Yeah. He has a tweet that says, "Is the legend of Patrick Mahomes actually just a myth?" He goes on and gives 6 points, and I continue. 1, played terribly in most of his first Super Bowl against the 49ers. Through 2 interceptions, Damian Williams should have been the MVP, 104 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown.
Nobody's debating that Damian Williams should have been the MVP of that Super Bowl. He should have been the MVP.
But Mahomes played terrible? That's not true.
No.
Yeah, most. Came back
and won.
Wasp
Yeah,
and
I mean,
all
come
that
on.
stuff. Okay. Number 2, got demolished by old man Tom Brady in the Bucs Super Bowl through 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns.
Did Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes go head-to-head in that Super Bowl? Like, was Tom on defense making all the plays and whatnot?
1v1.
Was Tom the non-existent offensive line in that game?
Yeah, he lined up next to Vita Vea.
He did. Okay, great. Okay, I'm just making sure.
And he was old.
Right, yeah, right.
And he had probably one of the best seasons of his life.
Yeah,
that
it's
year.
funny how we can use old very
Tom Brady
conveniently.
was on a mission that year. That mission was to shove it up Bill Belichick's ass.
Some people are dumb. Number 3, got demolished by Jalen Hurts this year. Played horribly from the jump through 2 interceptions.
Yeah, well, that team that we saw on Super Bowl Sunday, obviously we talked about the illness with Travis Kelce. I heard from somebody else, around the organization. Chris Jones had the bubble guts as well, and whatnot. So there were some things going on inside that team. Like, I think as time goes on, guys, we're going to find out more and more about, oh, my God, these guys were pooping their pants literally on the sidelines because the bug got to them right at the worst possible time. Like, Philadelphia had it all week, and then all of a sudden the Chiefs are waking up like Saturday and Sunday with this thing.
Number 4, when they actually beat the Eagles, Mahomes only threw for 182 yards.
Well, maybe that's what the game dictated.
He also had like the longest run of his career in that game.
Yeah.
Number 5, Mahomes was 17th in passer rating this year. Worse than Russell Wilson and Derek Carr.
Oh, this guy's got him on his fantasy team and is pissed. I got it now. I got it.
Number 6. You ready for this one? This is the one that really gets into Max Plum's. His passing yards have gone down from 5250, 4183 to now just 3928.
Right. And so we're seeing a quarterback kind of adjust to the team that he has. He had to throw for 5,250 yards in that first year. Otherwise, they would not have won football games. They had to beat teams 55-54 in order to win games. So Patrick Mahomes has done every single year what he's had to do for that specific team to win football games. I know context makes things not seem as cool when you put them in Twitter form, right? But when you give context to why things happen, okay, that low-hanging fruit that I had has to go back in the fridge, or maybe I should just throw it out because it's rotted.
He then wraps up the entire tweet with, is he just not that good without Tyreek Hill?
They've been to 3 Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill and won 2 of them. I mean, that may be the dumbest statement that I've ever seen. Like, this guy right now is a freelancer because Bleacher Report got rid of him because of ideas like that.
Yeah, this is clickbait. This is make you mad.
And this is, and then there's people that like to make comments.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Number 1 comment. He was lucky enough to be drafted by a playoff-ready team, has since regressed after losing Hill and Kelce getting worse. Glorified check-down merchant at this point. Okay. He then responds with definitely a lot of checking down in this game this season. His entire offense was basically hurt. He didn't have a left tackle for most of the season. His number 1 receiver went out in week 4.
You lost
his starting
your 2
running back was out.
And running back.
He had DeAndre Hopkins, Juju Smith-Schuster be picked up in free agency and still went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
The year after they got rid of Tyreek Hill, he won the MVP, and they had the number 1 offense according to stats in the NFL. So this guy is a bag. because you're just trying to fit your own narrative. Because I would then ask with this guy on the Twitter sphere, I would say, hey, man, if you could start a franchise today in the NFL, who would you select as your quarterback? And I would bet you put a lie detector test to this guy and say, anybody else besides Patrick Mahomes, that needle would be going off the charts.
I mean, who is even in the conversation
Josh Allen.
with Patrick Mahomes?
Josh Allen.
He's not a winner, though, Mac. And I saw a thing today from Pro Football Talk, and it was a comment from Brandon Bean, the GM, and says Josh Allen is playing with a chip on his shoulder. I go, well, it's got to be a huge chip because he's got chips that have built up. As a quarterback, you are judged on your postseason success. Josh Allen doesn't have any postseason success, and neither does Justin Herbert, who Harbaugh is calling one of the greatest of all time now, which we'll get to as the morning moves along. So I do believe that if you are not picking Patrick Mahomes and you are hooked up to the lie detector test, I love that idea, you will be buzzed. You will be buzzed as a liar if you're going to start an NFL team today with one player. You have the first overall pick, and you can select any player to build your team, and you don't take Patrick Mahomes, you're stupid. You just are. You're a dumbass.
And then it looks like a Chiefs fan on here named Vreeland. Justin Vreeland says, literally won an MVP without
Is he
Hill.
still married to Upton?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of photos, literally won an MVP without Hill while posting great numbers. His playoff stats are among the best ever, which is much bigger sample than just Super Bowl games. This whole post is just trying to find the very few negatives. He responds, it's more about making us think, wait, how clutch is he? Really?
13 seconds, brother.
And then someone literally responds, he won 3 Super Bowls when down by at least 10 points. That's extremely difficult and clutch. Here's NFL history's average for reference. Best record facing a 10-point deficit in since the merger. Minimum 20 starts. Patrick Mahomes' winning percentage down by 10 points. 57.1. Tom Brady, 38.2.
Yeah, I mean,
Joe Montana, 37%.
That's the number that's been out there all season long, or all career long for Patrick Mahomes. But obviously, recently people are throwing that one out there. That's been out there all year, so this guy could look and see the numbers. But again, giving context takes away the low-hanging fruit. That's why these 30-minute talk shows on ESPN and FS1, they throw out all that just dumb low-hanging fruit because they don't have time to get into context. And if they did get into context, it would totally change their arguments, and it wouldn't be as quote-unquote, I guess, entertaining for people if you actually had facts and you had things to back up why Patrick Mahomes is good. It's easy to find and pinpoint and pick apart things when you're truly looking for it. And if you can only find 6 things that you feel are negative about Patrick Mahomes in the 7 or 8 years that he's been in the NFL and the 3 Super Bowls that he's won, I mean, fine. You're a loser. Seriously, you are an absolute loser if you're looking for ways to run down Patrick Mahomes.
Well,
find a girlfriend, bro.
And if multiple of these reasons one of the reasons is he only threw for almost 200 yards in a Super Bowl win. The other one is, he only threw for 3,900 yards, which is 7th in the league this year. His lowest passing yards he's ever had was 7th in the league this year.
This league has turned back now into a rushing league. We saw it before our eyes this year. Saquon Barkley is jumping over gentlemen backwards. Derrick Henry came back to life. I mean, we're starting to see the running back have more of a role. That's the way the league works. I mean, it is a cyclical league, and things change constantly. You just have to kind of be ahead of the changes, and I think Brett Veach has done a really good job of kind of staying ahead of the chains, if you will, when this league is changing. But you have to understand context to have a conversation. Like, I know Josh Allen doesn't win in the playoffs against Patrick Mahomes. That's my context for Josh Allen. I don't know what he does during the regular season or how that team's built or what they're trying to do and how he impacts that team because I don't watch them on a daily basis. The only conversation that I have about Josh Allen is the way he performs in the playoffs against the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's what I always lean back on.
Which is good.
Right.
He performs great.
Yeah, but they don't win.
He doesn't win.
They don't win. I mean, 3:33 to go. You got the ball. You got to do something there. You want to rip Josh Allen, fine. To sit there and nitpick Patrick Mahomes and talk about season to season to season without using any context whatsoever is just ignorant. It really is. Patrick Mahomes threw for 3,900 yards. Top 2 wide receivers were out basically before October. You lost your running back in September. You had no left tackle, and he was still 7th in the league in passing yards, and they went to the Super Bowl, and you want to nitpick that? What a loser. I mean, honestly, like that. Why do people wake up with that? And why are we And the collective we. Why do we get mad about nitwits? You know, it's
yes.
I saw a quote from the guy's name is Peter Maluk. He runs creative planning, right? And he's on X. And he had this quote. He goes, if you're not going to take advice from somebody, don't take criticism from somebody. And I'm like, that is a great quote in which to live by. I wouldn't take advice from this guy. I'm not going to listen to his criticism about Patrick Mahomes and let him ruin my day because he's winning at this point in time. And also, he's stupid.
Somebody says John Frisella is a crybaby B who was literally whining 6 months ago about how he's never going to make it as an NFL insider and was contemplating deleting it. And deleting his account. And now he's out here. Again, Mahomes is only ever in the playoffs made it to the AFC Championship game.
But see,
his definitive points are Super Bowl losses.
I know.
His career is, at the age of 29, already the, second, third greatest quarterback of all time?
At worst.
I mean, at worst, he's the third.
Worst, he's the third greatest of all time.
Yep. And again, I wasn't as locked into sports as I am now, obviously, but do we not have this same energy when Tom Brady lost to Jake Plummer?
No, because the medium didn't exist like this.
Well, it wasn't in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And people don't care. People value losing in the first round rather than getting your team to the Super Bowl. You get your team to the Super Bowl, but you lost. So, but you lose in the first round to Plummer or Plunkett or whoever.
Yeah,
Plunkett.
He's playing Jim Plunkett. I mean, Plunkett may have been playing back then.
Exactly.
But no, I mean that's the medium has changed. Life has changed. There was no social media when Tom Brady didn't go. Went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl and all this kind of stuff. And maybe somebody would write an article or somebody would talk or something like that. But it wasn't like today, where everybody's on this medium. That guy should give up being an NFL insider. He's just not very good at it. And I would tell him that, find a profession which you're good at. This one, you're probably not so good at, because the only way that you've gotten attention and anybody knows who you are is making stupid statements about Patrick Mahomes.
Some people are dumb.
I just don't get it. I mean,
I don't either.
You've literally not ever won your division. You've literally made it to the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship game, and every year you've been a starter. And in all those AFC Championship games, you played them all at home except for one. You've beaten every MVP of the league
in the playoffs.
And again, I get it. People want to have their sort of thing, and they want to do it, and they want to push their narrative. That's fine. But also, if you're going to have that tweet, come out with one that has the success rate of Patrick Mahomes.
Post his playoff record. What is it, 18-4?
Yeah.
Or 17-4?
I think it's 18.
Is it 18-4?
Some guys may never win 5 playoff games.
I mean, and that's the thing. And I'll play this Harbaugh comment. This is the quarterback they're dealing with.
At Granger?
Oh, my God.
Locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
One of the greatest of all time, he said. He's been around him a year, and he's got him in that category of one of the greatest of all time. 0-2 in the playoffs, a 500 quarterback, doesn't elevate his team. I don't think I've seen him elevate his team. Again, I'm speaking from postseason stuff. You got to elevate your team as the quarterback. These people out here in Nitwit land give Justin Herbert more credit than they give Patrick Mahomes. They give Joe Burrow more credit than Patrick Mahomes. What is it, man? What does this guy have to do? Get a haircut?
Well, he did.
Oh, does he have to, show up to a Texas Tech basketball game to get the love?
No, he does that. They hate him.
Yeah, that is. Did you see what he did yesterday? He donated the walkthrough facility to Texas Tech yesterday. It's now the Patrick Mahomes walkthrough facility. Texas Tech has a walkthrough facility where it's a separate building where they do their walkthrough, and it's the Patrick Mahomes II walkthrough facility. It's unbelievable, right? Why aren't we embracing Patrick Mahomes and loving him up as one of the rare athletes of all time? You get to a certain spot in life where you're having success and you're great at what you do, And instead of embracing it, people just want to run you down and bring you down to their level because they're miserable in their life. This guy's a fledgling guy trying to be an NFL insider, and the only thing he's got in his bag is to attack the greatest quarterback of this generation and a top 3 quarterback of all time. Meanwhile, Justin Herbert's out here losing playoff games, and we're putting him on a silver platter.
You're a rock star.
Yeah, according to Jim Harbaugh. I'm glad that he says stuff like that to
I am
support
too.
his quarterback.
Yeah.
But why not just, next year, I just hope the Chiefs stay mum. I hope they just continue to do what they're going to do, and we see how the year plays out. And if you want to keep doing that and you want to give them free fuel and you want to, not make them pay $2.89 a gallon and let them just go out there and run their ship, then let's do it. Have the revenge tour, right? Because that's what you can call that team. Because, again, did Mahomes take a step back? Is his legacy a myth? How is it a myth? He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 next year, and he has already played in 5 Super Bowls. Like, that's insane. Some people never even go to 1. Will Burrow go to another one? I don't know. Will Josh Allen ever get to 1? I don't know. You know why I don't know that? Because they've got to go through Mahomes first, and only one has done it, and that's Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's
One time.
One time.
One time.
Now, I do think that if there ever was going to eventually be a guy, I think it might be Josh Allen because he's so wickedly talented. The wickedly talented.
That's right. Adele Dazeem.
Yeah. Dazeem, or whatever John Travolta said.
Adele Dazeem is what he said. Yeah, it was Adele Dazeem, yeah.
Gosh, I have to find that cut now.
Wickedly talented.
Wickedly talented.
Adele Dazeem.
She's saying, let it go.
My mother just saw her on Broadway last week. She got a new show out called Redwoods or something. She said she was awesome. But like for John Travolta not to know her, that's like saying the wickedly talented Patrick Mahomes. You know,
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
But no, again, look, you're gonna have this. This is what's great about sports. This is what's great about having a team to get to root for because you get to have these people that make these asinine comments of, is he a myth? That's not the case because it doesn't
You're
make
a
sense.
myth.
You have to, because the thing is, I would love someone to put that list up and then have someone counter argue it, which is basically what we just did. Again, never not made the AFC Championship game, played in 5 Super Bowls. He's won 3 of them. He's won back-to-back Super Bowls. He's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen, and I just wish that we had the same energy we had for Brady in the 2000s that we have for Patrick Mahomes now. And again, I know it. I get it. Winning is tiresome. People don't like to see it continue. They want to see somebody else knock them off. So here's the deal. Somebody did that. It was Philadelphia. Let's see how quickly Philadelphia gets back.
Yeah, right, exactly. Let's see who's back in the Super Bowl first. I'll put all my money on the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. And, the Patrick Mahomes thing again, too, it shows you what a great quarterback is because every year he has to play differently in order for his team to win. He has to figure it out during the season. He has to figure it out in the preseason. And every year has been completely different than the year prior. And Patrick Mahomes has adjusted and advanced. He's been unbelievable. And for anybody to say anything negative about him or for Travis Kelce for that matter, go kick rocks.
That's right. Somebody says, good morning, guys. I think they're jealous. Yeah. And then someone says he doesn't get the respect he deserves because he's been carried by a Hall of Fame tight end and a coach and top 5 defense.
All right, we got to take a break. I got to go to the bathroom.
Fair enough. Vacation. You can go with one cast of any show in the history of shows. Which vacation or which cast of characters would you take a vacation with of any show of all time? We get to that on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Patrick Mahomes, the myth, in Kansas City sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, hey, Missouri sports fans, listen up because you can download and play on the Underdog app right now in the state of Missouri. It's great news for Missouri sports fans. The Underdog app is available to play in your state right now. And Underdog is one of the leading sports apps, and you can play it now in Missouri. If you want to win up to 1,000 times your money, you can with Underdog. To play, choose whether a player will go higher or lower than one of their stats, points, assists, rebounds, and more. And they've got all your favorite leagues on the Underdog app. I love playing on the Underdog app because they've got every team, every star you can choose from. You can create entries with all basketball selections or mix and match across other sports as well. And you can play with as little as $1. So if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money and turn $1 into 1,000 just with your sports knowledge. Do what we did. Download the Underdog app and sign up now using the promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with the promo code BOB. Claim your special offer today and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Must be 18 and over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping, and you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
And dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy, just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit. Once again, that's Indeed.com/credit.
Listen, you've been making house payments for years, right? And right now your home's value has never been higher, right? That means you're likely sitting on a small fortune in equity. And good for you. That's cash you could use to help secure your retirement, solve all your financial burdens, enable you to travel everything you want. The catch is, you're not ready to move. No problem. You don't have to with TrueHold. Sell and stay leaseback program. It's a genius financial strategy. You sell your home to TrueHold while its value is high. You bag all the equity in cash now, and you can stay as long as you like with an easy, affordable lease. And TrueHold pays property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Get a TrueHold offer now while your home's value is sky high. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out without moving out. TrueHold.com.
Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound, still pretty heavy from Cookingham down towards Pleasant Valley Road. Earlier accident before 435 has been pushed off to the shoulder, so things starting to recover. Inbound I-70, very heavy from around 23rd Street in towards the Paseo with an accident blocking 2 left lanes. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Well, hate it or love it, the Underdogs next season will probably finish on top. That's the Kansas City Chiefs. New haircut, new swag last year for Travis Kelce. I'm excited. I mean, I'm still in baseball mode, but I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do next year because you put stuff like this. Best of luck. You poke the bear, Be ready for the consequences that come.
I mean, can you imagine all of these pokings of the bear that have taken place already with this team, and we're only 2+ weeks after the Super Bowl, and everybody's acting like this organization was a fraud for the last decade?
Speaking of Travis Kelce, you might enjoy their podcast this week on New Heights. Did you see who their guests are?
I did not know.
The Kachuk brothers.
Oh, nice. What a great pickup, right? That's
Anytime
awesome,
they want,
right?
anyone they want, whenever they want. Kachuk brothers will be on New Heights today.
I was listening to a Travis or Jason Kelce guest appearance with Charles Barkley yesterday. He was on Charles Barkley's podcast that he does with Ernie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ernie. And so they had Jason Kelce on, and Jason Kelce said, "Yeah, my
We're
whole
getting
life."
fired anyway, Ernie. F it.
Yeah, right. And Jason
Yes,
Kelce
I know
says,
that was Shaq.
like, growing up, the only guy I ever wanted to meet was Charles Barkley, right? That was like his big deal, right? Wanted to meet Charles, and so got to be on the podcast. And Charles told the story. He goes, when I was growing up, he says, I wanted to change my name to Travis. And Jason's like, well, obviously it wasn't for my brother, but we're like, it's just kind of cool that you wanted to change your name to Travis. And Charles is like, yeah, because Travis was the best athlete growing up, and I wanted to be Travis. And Charles goes, and my mom says, you're a dumbass, man. You're named after your grandpa. And Charles goes, yeah, who's a nobody?
I was so good. Pretty fair, though.
I mean, as a kid, you're like, yeah, come on now. You named me after my grandpa Charles. I want to be Travis. This guy's a hell of an athlete.
This guy kills it.
Never meet your heroes unless you're Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
I did. You're familiar with Channing Frye, I'm assuming? Mm-hmm. Did you see his rant the other day?
What did he rant about?
I think
I can find it, but he basically is blaming the old heads for the reason why the NBA is not successful. Because we're stuck on Michael Jordan the way that we used to play in the 90s, and that we're not appreciating what we have already, which is Steph Curry, LeBron James, Giannis, Jokic, all this. And he blames Shaq and Charles Barkley.
They have a big say.
And those are the two guys that are actually supportive of the current NBA situation.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they have a big say in how people perceive things. They are the voice of the NBA. I mean, there's nobody else. Like, they are the bell cows of the NBA.
I wouldn't say they support the current NBA.
I don't think they trash it a lot.
Constantly.
And rightfully so. It's a terrible product.
Sure, I guess. But like, you don't know the players. You don't know anyone. Like, you could know something about the game before you trash it. That's Charles and Shaq. I feel like they watch one game a week.
Man, that's fine. I mean, they're in their 60s. I don't blame them. Or Shaq's probably in his 50s.
Shaq's
at this
also
point,
DJing.
Yeah, he's got like other things going on.
DJ Diesel, baby.
Working for the General.
Nobody's watching that show. Yeah, he is. Shaq. I mean,
he's got a lot of things.
Not one person is watching that show looking for X's and O's of basketball. You're watching it for the entertainment, for the opinion, and for the personality. And that's why it's successful.
I watch that show to see who's going to be the target that night. Sometimes it's Kenny. Sometimes it's Shaq. Sometimes it's Chuck.
Yep.
And then I watch to see if anybody's going to beat Kenny to the screen.
Yeah.
Those are my two things
You're not
that I watch
watching for basketball breakdown. And I love the fact that they're hard on the game because it's not in a good place right now. It just isn't. It's launch three-pointer after launch three-pointer after launch three-pointer, and that just doesn't get it done for a lot of people. I'm not the only one saying this. I mean, these guys are Hall of Famers saying that the game is terrible right now. And that's not – I don't think that's their old man take on it. I think it is a bad product right now.
It's not great, but there are certain games. But the thing is, it's tough for me with the NBA because there's you'll go through a stretch where there's really not a great game, and then you'll have a stretch where all of a sudden Minnesota and Oklahoma City play, and here comes Anthony Edwards, who brings his team down by 25, blocks an SGA shot, and you're like, can we get more of that?
Right, can you get more of that? You want that.
You need more consistency with the game, which you get towards the end of the season when the playoffs happen, which is everything like hockey and football, and football's entertaining throughout the whole entire season. But again, it ramps up obviously when the conditions are a little bit higher up. YouTube TV came out with a question on X that says you can go on a vacation with the cast of one show. What is your pick? So vacation, one show. What's your pick? 913-586-7965. That's a J South tow service text line. Somebody on the text line says Modern Family.
That'd be a fun one.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That's a great one.
That is a really good one, actually.
Another Modern Family.
Claire. Oh, let me tell you.
Parks and Rec is on there.
Yeah.
Blue Mountain State, The Sopranos.
Why would you want to go on a trip with The Sopranos? You may not come back.
Well,
you may end up in a trunk.
Is Mello Soprano going to be on that trip?
Well,
yeah. Is Carmela going to be on there when she's getting mean? Because that's when she was really nice. Is Tony psychiatrist going to be out there? So, I mean, there's a whole lot. But what say you, if you could take one show with you on a vacation, who would you go with?
Yeah, like my friend Joe just texted me. He goes, the answer is Seinfeld. I go, no, it's not, because
It
they're
would
a
be
bunch
assholes.
of jerks. Oh, yeah.
I hit it.
Not me this time.
Whoops.
Yes, Dusty, you are correct.
Whoopsie. I will see you never.
I'll be honest with you. I was thinking about this before the show. You
Yeah.
guys have used the dump button more in 6 months than I've been working with than I have in 15 years doing this. Okay, just so you know.
Yeah, that's
okay?
like your opinion, man.
That's rough.
Because people ask me all the time, you never. I'm like, nah, it's 4 hours. I can, I know, I don't, so I don't, right? But no, the answer for me after talking, so Joe comes back with who'd you like to go with, the Brady Bunch? No, Entourage. That's my answer, and I think that's the best answer because I ain't paying a dime. They're picking up everything,
That's
right?
true.
Hanging out with Turtle would be awesome. Private jet with Vinny Chase. Having his brother E would be fantastic to
Johnny
hang out
Drama.
with. Johnny Drama. E gets things done. All the women that were on, like, give me Entourage. That's my final
great
answer.
one.
Thank
He
you.
sucks. I couldn't stand E.
Oh, I love. Like, he just gets things. Like, everybody needs a guy
Speaking of
like
Mellow
that in their
Soprano.
life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Some more on the Saved by the Bell, obviously because of Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah.
The challenge any season with Nuri's Mateo. I'm familiar with that. Lost. I would love to see Evangeline Lilly in a bikini. Mac, what's a show that you would take?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
I think It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia would be mine.
God, you gotta hang out with Charlie Day on vacation.
I love Charlie Day. Danny DeVito would be great. Glenn Howerton, Rob McElhenney would be awesome. It'd be great. Super fun, guys.
Somebody says I'll take The Office.
That'd be cool.
Just party with Meredith.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
I'd love it. It'd be awesome. Just be like, go to the local swim-up bar and just get hammered with Meredith.
Or Creed.
Creed would be awesome. You just would never see him.
You know he was in a band, right?
Correct. He's a guitar player.
Yeah. Oh God, what's the name of the band?
Yeah, he
now?
lives in Nashville.
The band's name is Creed.
It's not, but yeah, God, it's like from the '60s. I'm like, oh my God, Creed was in that band.
I will say, I will either go with the cast of Shameless.
Okay.
Just because everybody's, kind of a rebel. You got Jeremy Allen, who's out there as well as Flip or Lip Gallagher.
Yeah, Lip.
You got Fiona Gallagher. How you doing?
Yes.
I mean, the most realistic sex scenes I've ever seen in my life that aren't real. Fiona did it for me, man. A lot of pausing on that show. Frank, I mean, you never know. Is Frank going to like swindle his way to get a free resort because he's going to say something or get something and then he's going to screw the entire family over? And then the other one would be the Real Housewives.
Which ones?
Either any of them. Atlanta, Osage Beach, whatever the housewives shows are. I don't care, dude. Send me out there with the Real Housewives. I'll make sure I have some fun on vacation. We'll just drink a bunch of Prosecco, smoke a lot of weed, and just have a bunch of fun with those housewives.
The Real Housewives of Osage Beach.
Better believe it. Better believe it.
Tammy, we're coming down. Get the housewives ready.
That's right. The cast of 2.5 Men.
I mean, you'd go with Charlie Sheen for a day and then be like, I got to tap out, man.
That's true. Yeah, it'd be
Like,
one day.
I got to tap out. I can't
keep
do
up.
this anymore.
Yeah. Somebody says Baywatch. Got Hasselhoff. Got Hasselhoff C blocking you the whole time.
Yeah.
Somebody says, calm down, Dusty. You're from Lee Summit, not the south side of Chicago. Fair point. But Fiona Gallagher, I would move to Chicago immediately for you. Oh, gosh. Gosh, what is her real name in real life? It's terrible.
Grassroots.
That's it. Yeah, the Grassroots, yeah.
Cast of Scrubs would be great. 90210, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Well, there'd be one less person. Is it 9021 now? Because one guy's no longer with us. Luke Perry.
He died, but
his son is now a...
didn't one of the women on that show die too?
Well, it's Tori Spelling, and then there's the curly-haired girl that wore
Didn't Tori
glasses.
Spelling pass away?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't believe so. Somebody says the cast of Jackass. You wouldn't make it 2 days.
Whoa.
You'd be done, man.
No, I'm done.
Steve-O snorting a line of wasabi on a plane is still one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. Could you imagine real wasabi up your nostril?
Nope.
Absolutely not. And then one time he was on top of like a skyscraper on a orca, inflatable orca, Steve-O was. Now sober. So doing better in his life. Somebody says
Emmy
Charlie's
Rossum,
Angels.
by the way.
Emmy Rossum.
Emmy
That's what it
Rossum,
is.
that's your girl.
Golly. She was in The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal, which that guy gets so much for somebody who looks like he cries every time after sex. Supernatural comes in. Friends comes in.
Friends. That's, underrated probably.
Yeah. The Roy family from Succession. Filthy Rich, Shiv Roy, oh baby. It ain't me, Shiv. Have you guys watched Succession yet?
I have not yet.
No, it's on my list.
Okay. Too many shows out there anyways.
I know.
Coming up on the other side is 8 o'clock. I'll try not to cuss once again. Jack Caglione. Is the possibility of a Will Myers trade out there? I say no. Some people might say yes. I'll explain on the other side of 96.5 The Fan, your home, Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
What the hell's wrong with your station?
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I tell you what, I was talking about it yesterday with one of the dads at the basketball game about Aspen lawn and pest control. He goes, I'm like you, man. I'm throwing my hands up about this. I can't figure out my lawn anymore either. I said, no, I've tried and tried and tried. And we had 2 big trees that we needed to take down because they were sucking the life out of our lawn. And now the roots are still there, still sucking the life out of our lawn. And I'm done. So I'm going to call the professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Now that snow is melted, the spring is here. They're going to come out, check out my lawn, and absolutely make it look like it is the best on the block, because it will be the best on the block once they are done with it. At Aspen Lawn and Pest Control, they have college-educated professionals who know a thing or two about making your grass look good. I don't know anything about it. So like I said, I'm going to trust the professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. And when you see those iconic blue trucks driving around town, where are they? They're always parked in front of the nicest-looking lawns in Kansas City. And they've been doing it since 1985, offering full-service lawn care, irrigation, and pest control. Right now, if you tell them you heard it right here on 96.5 The Fan, you'll get a free estimate, plus up to half off your first application when you mention this ad. So expect the best. Don't wait. Call today. Or better yet, just visit aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then. 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
New treatments for joint pain are here. By now, you've heard about regenerative medicine. If you're wondering if you're a good candidate, answer these questions. First, does chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints keep you from doing the things you enjoy? Golfing, jogging, time with the family. Does it hurt doing the things you need to do, like getting out of bed, sleeping, working, and walking? And finally, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? If you answered yes to any of those, you need to call QC Kinetics now. Learn about exciting advancements in regenerative treatments that can give you long-lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Get your free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics. That's QC Kinetics. Here's the phone number.
Call now, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-514-1026 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by KRT Muscle Cream on the Missouri side. 70 westbound, very heavy heading in towards downtown this morning. You hit delays around 31st Street, and it's just crawls over past Prospect with an earlier accident at the Paseo that has cleared. A body in motion stays in motion until you feel that first muscle tighten. KRT helps you get back in action with all natural pain relief in just minutes. Learn more at krtrelief.com. That's krtrelief.com. Alan Corrin, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Go check out 96.5 The Fan's Instagram page for videos, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes content. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2. Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Diving right back into it on a Wednesday here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan.
I'm loving it. Well, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Yeah. Don't forget, it is a Wednesday, so we have our Fescoe and Dusty poll question going exactly as I thought. The poll question on a Wednesday is, who would you rather bring back for the Kansas City Chiefs next season? Trey Smith, Nick Bolton. 456 votes. 70% say Trey Smith. I thought it would be 90-10. I'm almost there.
Yeah, I'm
70.
surprised by the 30%. I'd like to hear their reasoning.
Yeah. Well, he was quarterback of the defense. More people chiming in on which cast they would go on vacation with. And then the text line also coming to the rescue. Shannon Doherty passed away from 90210.
That's who it was. I knew somebody on that show.
Shannon Doherty and Luke Perry have both passed away. And Luke Perry's son, at least I used to, is a wrestler for AEW.
Really?
Yeah. He goes by the alias of Tarzan Man or Tarzan's Boy.
Oh, that's from that song by Baltimore, one of the great songs of all time.
Always reminds me of Beverly Hills Ninja.
It reminds me of 2014 when we played the Orioles, because that was like the only kind of like Baltimore song anybody could think of. It was like Baltimore's Tarzan Boy. There wasn't much to choose from back in that day. But that's a great song, man. You think Max ever heard that song before?
I think if he heard it, he'd be like, I know this song. I don't know if he would know it right away.
You don't think so? No, yeah, I bet he did. Baltimore's Tarzan Boy?
Yeah. I'm sure when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, yeah, this is familiar. It just always reminds me of Haru from Beverly Hills Ninja, Chris Farley swinging on a palm tree trying to get into the house. I am Haru. I am the white ninja. Sally Jones. R.I.P. Yeah, he was Jungle Boy, but now he's just Jack Perry. There you go. Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry that I don't follow the AEW. Jack Perry is his name, and he hasn't been Jungle Boy for well over a year.
Well, God forbid you got that wrong.
At least I knew. He used to have a guy that was like a dinosaur. That was like his friend. And then he had what was the other guy's name? Rocco Smart or something like that. He was like a little person.
No.
It was kind of hilarious. They were like a group of misfits. Yeah, you probably heard this, have you?
No chance.
I don't think so.
No chance. Dusty, he barely knew what a magazine was.
At least they never heard of it.
You don't know this song? It's a classic.
Classic 80s.
Great. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
This music video is awesome.
Welcome to the 80s.
Yeah, man.
I don't know that I've ever seen the video. For how psychedelic is it?
You've never seen the video to this song, Bob? God! How young are you?
Oh, he's got like a long, flowy shirt that's open in the middle, and there's changing colors of palm trees in the back. A little trippy for sure.
Is it trippy? Is it like,
trippy?
Yeah.
The only thing that gives me fear is the fact that, like, all of a sudden I know where you're going to get rickrolled. Never gonna give you up.
Do you know that song?
Of course.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I like the Richard Cheese version of that one.
So you had mentioned something yesterday.
I did?
Yeah, about because you're always big on, like, anybody is tradable in baseball.
And football. Other than Patrick Mahomes and now Bobby Witt Jr., everybody else is available.
And you were asking if you would trade Jack Caglione.
Mm-hmm.
And you had mentioned Rafael Devers.
Yeah, and then he got hurt yesterday.
And I had told you he's on route to be the next Pablo Sandoval.
And I think you're right about that. Rafael Devers went on the injury list yesterday. Status for opening day, unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the injury list already in Major League Baseball? It is literally an all-star team. It is the list is so freaking long with these guys already getting hurt. I don't have the patience for baseball players. I really don't. Like, it's spring training, and if you go through the injury list, it's a mile long.
Yeah, I mean,
It's spring training. We've had a week of games.
We see Mahomes like snap his ankle in half and be like, "Get me back out there right now."
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
I just don't have the time for these guys. I hurt my my cuticle. I'll see you in March next year. What?
I don't think Jack Caglione is tradable. And I'll tell you why. I think he's too much of a dual threat possibility. I think that obviously we heard when he was drafted out of Florida that he can pitch. And I don't think that's something that is going to be given up on. I think the thing that they are going to try to do is try to get him established as a big league player. Now, I will say that when it comes with Jack Caglione, a lot of people will say, well, they traded Will Myers. I don't, and again, Will Myers was the number one player in the Royals organization, and I don't know where he ranked overall in Major League's pipeline of top prospects, but I think it was top 3.
I was going to say probably top 10 just to be safe. Right?
And obviously they trade him, right, and get a haul back. And
they don't make that trade, they don't go to the World Series, let alone win a World Series.
Yeah, he goes to Milwaukee. Those guys come here.
Or they just don't make that trade.
Right.
He just stays here, and they stay a middling team, you know?
To me, with Caglione, like, this team needs a bat. He's shown you that he has it. He's not drafted out of high school. He's drafted out of college. He seems wise beyond his years. He's a freak of nature. He's 6'5". Vern says he's like more like 6'3", 6'4". But his stat line says, or his bio says, he's 6'5", 250. The pop in his bat, the ability that he has with his arm, that if there is a day where, like, you know, maybe there's the new way of baseball where this guy can come in and pitch like the 8th inning someday and throw 99 miles an hour.
I'm not going to lie. That would be so freaking cool if he goes from playing first base to the mound. Like, that would be awesome.
It'd be great.
And it's
like,
not a positional player, you know?
It would look like Little League when, you know, you replace your pitcher and the guy comes from third base to the mound, and that guy goes from the mound to third base. Obviously, that wouldn't happen in the big leagues. But, like, it's interesting because of his ceiling and his potential. Will Myers was a first baseman as well, eventually in the pro, but outfielder as well. So same sort of storyline there. But I would say that you have more potential to trade a guy like Vinny than you would trade a guy like Caglione.
Now, you won't get back for Vinny what you would get back for Caglione, and that's the difference.
And that's the other gamble. Or I'm sorry, the Rays. I'm sorry, not the Brewers, the Rays. And so when you send, you know, you have to hope that what you get back works out. When they traded Will Myers to the Rays and they got back James Shields and Wade Davis, at the time everybody's like, Wade Davis, this guy sucks.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden
they put him in the bullpen.
You got kind of a free you know, miss on that, right? Like, it was like, oh yeah, he's not a rotation guy, but James Shields, I believe on record, has said when they made this trade, Wade Davis was the guy that you won this trade with. And then all of a sudden he was middle fingers in the 9th inning, won a World Series, went to the Cubs, won a World Series, was the best closer for about 3.5 years. Caglione, I think with this team and the youth that they can build this team around, you can make him a 1-2 punch with him and Bobby, and you can really take this team to the next level, I think, with his potential in this lineup with this team and with this manager in Contreras.
I'd love to see the behind-the-scenes stuff, if JJ calls teams, what they would offer for Jack Caglione, because I think you would get a pretty nice haul back in return. I think you're starting to see a kind of a similar log jam in that first base, outfield, catcher, DH spot right now, right? I think there's a couple of guys that can do a lot of the same stuff, and I think you are right. Vinny would be the tradable guy right now. Like, that's the guy you would look to move. If you fully believe that Cags is ready to go, and I think kind of behind the scenes they do, but they just want to give it, you know, a little bit longer, I think you start to shop Vinny this season to see what you can get, and that way it opens the door and Caglione can be your first baseman of the future. I could be totally speaking out of turn, and people would say, Bob, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. I think it's hard to have both Vinny and Caglione on the roster together because they're the same position, right? They're that same spot in the lineup. They're that same spot on the field. Caglione would bring you, I think, a lot back in return. It would be like a Will Myers type trade. Problem is, a lot of teams in baseball, as we know, aren't doing that. And I suggested Rafael Devers because he's complaining in Boston and he doesn't want to do anything other than play third base. Meanwhile, they signed, what's his nuts from Houston that wants to play third base as well. And so you've got two people there that are competing for a job that really don't want to be competing with each other. And Devers puts up great numbers. You had said it to me yesterday. What about Cags for Jose Ramirez? You know how much I love Jose Ramirez.
That's why I said it.
I know. That's why you said it.
Old.
I know.
Shields was about that age when they got him, and he was a pitcher.
Yeah. 30 is different in baseball than it is in the NFL, I think, too. I think you're just starting to get wise in baseball at 30 because that's kind of your prime because they keep you locked up in the minor leagues for so long so they don't have to pay you. So I think right now, if you were to say to me, would you trade Jack Caglione for Jose Ramirez? I would do that in a heartbeat. And I think most people will because you've got a proven guy at a position of need versus a prospect. And too many people fall in love with prospects, and prospects are suspects until they do it at the big league level. And I've always been under the impression of if you can trade a minor leaguer and get proven major leaguers back in return that can help your ball club win, you do that every day of the week and twice on Sunday. And that's why that trade for James Shields and Wade Davis, and because anybody remember the middle infielder that they got out of that deal as well?
To Tampa?
Yeah, God, it's going to drive me nuts now. I'm sure I'll get a text in about 2 seconds about who the middle infielder was that they got in that trade as well. But anyway, you
Jorge Bonifacio?
No, God, no.
He's with the Monarchs now, by the way. I don't know if
saw
you saw
that. Yeah, great. But so to move that organization forward, to take that next step, if they don't trade Will Myers, nobody wins a championship. Nobody makes the playoffs. They made a bold move to put them in position, to go out there and make that trade. And so I would love another bold trade because I think those bold trades are the ones that take your organization from here and take it to here. You've got to be willing to part with prospects and not worry about what anybody says if you're getting those proven major leaguers back in return. Remember, all those prospects that the Royals parted with, they said they parted with like some 20-some prospects over that 13 to 16 era. Who do we miss?
Yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to see Will Myers in a Royals uniform.
Elliot Johnson?
Elliot Johnson, that's it, yeah.
That was my next guess.
Yeah.
13 years ago today, is it Pete Weber to the Who Do You Think You Are, I Am?
Was it 13 years
13 years
ago?
ago today. St. Louis native.
Oh my God.
The other thing that comes up, the elements of modern baseball, what smell reminds you of the ballpark? A cold beer, popcorn, hot dogs, or fresh cut grass?
Say it again.
Which smell reminds you of baseball? Or of the ballpark? Popcorn, cold beer, hot dog, fresh cut grass.
The fresh cut grass I love. Cold beer, when I smell cold beer, it's like stale, sticky beer, so I'm out on that. Yeah. Did you say
popcorn? Popcorn's a good one for
I
baseball.
eat that every night.
You always smell popcorn.
You do.
Like, it's just like it's one of those. It's like the fajita effect.
The problem
you don't want it, but you smell it. You're like, "Where's the bucket of popcorn?"
Yeah, because the popcorn never tastes as good as it smells.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Because they pop it 6 days in advance and they keep it in a big trash bag in the back.
I don't know, man. Movie theater popcorn is always going to
because you put all that butter on it.
Of course,
that's
I
why.
do. Like
That's why. The ballpark, they don't have that per se.
By the end of that large
Topsies.
popcorn bag, my hands are as pruned as I am in a bathtub.
Yeah.
Have you seen the hack that they don't like you to do at the movie theaters? You put the straw where the butter comes out, and you put it in the middle of your popcorn bag, and you fill it through the straw, and then when you're done, you lift the straw out, and it like gradually goes through.
Oh, hey, wow,
science,
right? Somebody asked, was Zobrist the one that came, or did he come from the
No,
Cubs?
it was Elliot Johnson.
Yeah, Zobrist was the A's, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you went to the Cubs after that? Is that right?
Yeah, we traded Sean Manaea to the A's for Ben Zobrist.
That's right, and there's a couple others that got traded in that as well. But really, are you missing Sean Manaea? No, you don't win that World Series without Ben Zobrist.
Somebody says, I always smell the funnel cakes at ballpark.
You do.
That too.
The kettle corn is another good smell, and the one that the Royals just don't have is the peppers and onions cooking. We've got to get the peppers and onions back at the ballpark.
Yeah, you got to bring back the sheboygan.
You do.
Oh, I'll pay $15 for that. I don't give a rip, dude.
That's like one of those things. I don't care.
Yeah,
if it's there, you got the peppers and onions.
Take my money.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm always going to buy at least 2 tall boys and a sheboygan if it's available at the ballpark. Coming up, people that are going to be available free agent-wise for the Kansas City Chiefs and the pros and the cons of keeping Trey Smith. Plus, we revisit our poll question on 96.5, the fans' Twitter page here on Fescoe and Dusty with Mac as well, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty. Make sure to follow us on Instagram @thefan965 for behind-the-scenes content from the show. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5, The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control are going to make my lawn look like it's the best lawn on the block when they are done with it. Because for the last, decade, I've had the worst lawn on the block. We've had trees cut down. We've had roots. We've had bad grass. We've had weeds. We've had just everything you could imagine taking over our lawn. And I'm just done trying to figure it out. So I'm going to trust the folks who went to college and have degrees to make your lawn look awesome. And that is Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. And they get the job done right the first time. They've been doing business in Kansas City since 1985, so you know they are on top of it. And when you see those iconic blue trucks all over town, where are they? They're parked in front of the best-looking lawns in Kansas City. Like I said, they've been doing this since 1985. They have college degrees in making your lawn look awesome, so why am I going to continue to try? I'm going to trust the professionals at Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. If you mention you heard us talking about it, you'll get a free estimate and up to half off your first application. So you want to expect the best. Don't wait. Call today, or better yet, just visit aspenlawn.com. That's aspenlawn.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom.
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. The one you love is the light of your life. And if you're like most of us, you want to do whatever you can to nurture your relationship. But if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction, you know the impacts the condition is likely having on you and your partner. ED is a relationship destroyer. It can contribute to depression, distancing, conflicts, and even breakups and divorce. And what's so disturbing about this is that most men who suffer with ED can be successfully treated, but a lot of guys don't seek treatment when they should. At Heartland Men's Health, we have protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases. In fact, if you're like most guys, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and maybe find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. So call Heartland Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Empower.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. The new year is here. Home values are up, and you have more home equity than ever. Now is the time to put that home equity to work for you. This is James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. Credit card balances are at an all-time high. Why pay 25 to 30% interest to them when you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call? Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. We have no fee to apply and no out-of-pocket cost. And if you call today, you could make no payments for 2 months. But don't wait. This rate won't last forever. Imagine how good it will feel to have those bills paid off. At Golden Oak Lending, we can make that happen in as little as 14 days. And if for any reason your loan doesn't close, we will pay for your appraisal. Call today and take advantage of our 5.25 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 69 highway northbound with a stalled at College Boulevard blocking the left lane, keeping things very heavy. Delays that stretch back beyond 135th Street and building. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
All right, put your headset on. I want to read this quote that I just saw from Max Scherzer talking about robot umpires. Have you guys, be honest, and if the answer is no, that's fine. I'm sicker than others. Have you watched a spring training game yet and have seen the review process take place?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right, the review process with the ball strike. It takes seconds. It's done. It's over. There's nothing to look at, nothing to see here. Move on. Right, it doesn't take any time whatsoever. Max Scherzer had this quote: "Humans should be judged by humans." Max Scherzer on the robot umpires, and I hear that, I'm like, I could go both ways on this thing with the robot umpires and non-robot umpires, but I'm a big technology guy in sports. If you have the technology available to get it right, why not use it? Why do people get so hurt and cry in their oatmeal because they may want to use robot umpires or robot referees or whatever the case may be? If you've got the opportunity to get plays right, to get calls right, why wouldn't we be trying to get them right all of the time? I just don't understand that,
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say we could use lasers for first downs in the NFL because it wasn't so long ago they were using like an index card.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well, yeah. The index card was fantastic.
That was a real life thing that happened.
Yeah. And you're not taking
Hold
away.
on, let me see if they got it.
Who was that? That wasn't Hockey Lee, was it? No, Jeff Triplett, I think, is who it was, actually.
He's got two other brothers?
He does. But no, I think like robot umpires, we're not removing umpires. We're not taking away jobs, right? They're still going to be out there. We're just holding these guys more accountable. There's no problem with that.
I love it.
And the human error crowd can't, pipe up because there's still human error. You only get a certain amount of challenges.
You get two.
Yeah. So there's still going to be the human error things. It's still umpires, but it's not all robots. So
right.
I love it.
And it doesn't even get in the way of the game.
These are probably the same people that bitch about the nets on the foul line. Well, I can't see the game.
Have you even noticed that those nets have been put up? I have not, and I've been to a lot of games over my life. Yeah. But it doesn't even faze me that those nets are there.
I do love this text. We're talking about smells that remind you of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Somebody says, the times you smell funnel cake, but it's just some dude vaping.
That's funny.
Respect the text.
One of the smells for the Kauffman Stadium is level 2. It's the tunnel between the two stadiums. If you're ever on the elevator and you're going like up or down to higher levels or lower, and you smell that level 2 of trash, go down there in July. Take a big whiff of level 2 of Kauffman Stadium in July, and it's all the trash from the stadiums. It's so disgusting. It's so gross.
Have Slugger come hug you in August.
No. Would you rather be hugged by Slugger in August or Casey Wolf in August?
The Wolf. Because his season just started.
That's fair. That's
a good point.
That's
Great.
a good point.
Slugger had all of June and July to marinate.
No, I'll hug Casey Wolf in August way before I'll hug a Slugger in August because he's been out there in June, July.
That's right.
That thing is way past its time at that time of the season.
God, I mean,
it's sour.
It really is, yeah.
I saw a random ranking. He was number 1 on some random MLB mascot. So way to go,
Slugger
Slugger.
was?
Number 1.
All right. Look, when you see that kind of stuff, that's wild because the Philly Fanatic usually is, or the San Diego Chicken. You know, those are the ones that have kind of been around. Did you see Bryce Harper get the Philadelphia Fanatic tattooed on him yesterday?
Cool.
Wow,
I did not.
You want to talk about who just became the greatest athlete in Philadelphia sports history? Bryce Harper is that guy right now. That dude got the Philly Fanatic tattooed on him.
Too bad Major League Baseball doesn't know that. He also used the Philly Fanatic as his bat when they do the fun bat time.
Yeah. Why can't we do fun bat time all the time?
Because then it becomes stale.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because like when they pop out that pencil bat, like in the middle of June when baseball's kind of like hitting its lull, it's like, oh, this is cool, and then you forget about it. It's like, I just love the design of the baseball bats, or like the fun, because this is the last year of these types of City Connect jerseys we found out.
Yep.
Those are fun. I still think the Royal City Connect jerseys with the white pants and the powder blue stripe are just clean.
They're very clean, yeah.
Obviously, the powder blue jerseys are coming back this year. They're going to wear them on opening day. It's
and
gonna
the
be
pants.
awesome. And the pants. So full powder blue this year for your Kansas City Royals. Speaking of full, the Chiefs are free agency radar is full of attention. Obviously, we had Jay Binkley on earlier about can't even believe it's been almost 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
But some free agency availability for the Kansas City Chiefs.
There's a lot of guys that are available on the Chiefs right now, and I'm talking to my friend Joe via text, and he goes, "Look, you're wrong." And Joe knows a lot about football. I wish, right? Like Joe would be my GM, I would be the head coach of a football team, and we'd fill in the spots, after that. And he's debating me right now. He goes, "Look," Trey Smith is a nice player because look when we won Super Bowls, we had really good middle linebackers, right? People could say what they want about Anthony Hitchens, but the guy went out there and made plays. Nick Bolton made plays. What's wrong with moving some of these failed tackles to guard and then going out and getting a tackle? It's not a bad approach to anything of the way to look at things. I don't mind that approach. I just wonder if like Kingsley and who the other guy is, are they mentally tough enough after a horrible season to switch positions? Yeah, Wanye to switch positions and take over at guard. And so he made a good point for bringing back Nick Bolton versus Trey Smith. But the CBS Sports.com listed they're like all-American teams or all-pro teams based on free agency. There are 4 Chiefs that make this list that would be considered all-pros that are free agents. Obviously, the aforementioned Trey Smith makes the list. Nick Bolton makes that list. You have to start looking around at Justin Reed. He makes that list as well. And the 4th Chief, I'm forgetting who made that list it was Hollywood Brown as well, making that list as the all-pro free agents that are going to be out there and available. That's a big number. A lot of guys that made big-time plays, for this organization. If you're ranking those 4 guys, I think we're all in agreement that Hollywood Brown would be number 4 on that list.
Mac might have him number 1.
You may have him number 1 on that list.
I think I'd have him at least 2. So it was Reed, Trey Smith, Hollywood Brown, and Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton on that list.
I think I'd have him 2.
You would have so you have Trey Smith number 1. Are we all in agreement that Trey Smith is number 1 on that list?
I am. Dusty.
Out of those 4,
and if not, that's fine.
Let's have the
conversation because I don't think the text and obviously Joe doesn't agree either on it, and that's great. I love to hear the other side as to what maybe I'm missing, right? Like, why do you have Nick Bolton as number 1? Or maybe you have Justin Reed number 1. And from what I can tell you, Justin Reed and the camp, they're going to start having conversations this week. And I know that Spags wants Justin Reed back. I think Dave Merritt wants Justin Reed back. I think this town wants Justin Reed back for the great human being that Justin Reed is. You love guys that give back to the community. And Justin's one of those guys. I'd love to have him back. I think he'd love to be back here.
Great for the culture.
In Kansas City. Great for the culture. Like, he's like your perfect player to kind of have in this organization. love the fact that Justin Reed could potentially be back here in Kansas City. So if you're ranking them, I think we all have Trey Smith number 1. Yep. Number 2, I would put Bolton at number 2.
That's fine.
You guys, I don't know where you fall on that one, Dusty. Are you Bolton at number 2 if you're ranking the?
No, I'm Hollywood Brown.
You're Hollywood Brown at number
2. You have 2 wide receivers on your roster right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Maybe 3.
If you count Remigio. 3.
Yeah. And Hollywood Brown is somebody that I don't think got a fair shake. And I think that he's a veteran. I know health is an issue. Bolton's health has been an issue the last couple of years. I think if you're playing this team to be another, Super Bowl contender or a favorite, I think that when you look at this sort of situation, I think I would probably go Trey Smith 1. I would go Hollywood Brown 2. Because that does give you another option. And if Travis Kelce has taken a step back and next year is his final swan song and everything is sort of in that realm of things, and if you go with Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, draft a running back, and you have Travis Kelce, I think that sets your offense up for 0 questions moving forward. And then you just obviously have to figure out your left tackle, but you'd have Trey Smith that would help with that sort of cushion on the offensive line. So, yeah, I'd go Hollywood Brown over Nick Bolton.
Okay, who would be I would go Nick Bolton at number 2 for me.
I think we're going to swip 2 and 3.
Okay, who would you go with at number 3 then?
Bolton.
See, I would go with Justin Reed at number 3. Where are you going at number 3, Mac?
Yeah, I think I'd be Bolton as well.
You'd go Bolton at number 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
But just to preface that, I'm okay with. I could see the argument for bringing in. These are all great players.
No, you don't have to justify it. We're just having a nice conversation about where, like, if you're Brett Veach, how are you ranking your priority? And then Joe's texting back and he goes, "Wouldn't it be easier to bring all 3 of those guys back if we didn't pay Trey Smith?" And that's the other.
True.
And that's see, this is why we have these conversations.
Now you're
right?
Cincinnati.
Yeah, you're not paying Jamar Chase and you're adding more. Yeah.
Right.
But now they're claiming they're paying everybody, in which T. Higgins put the cap out yesterday, which is so good.
Awesome. I did see, what did they say, the most PR thing ever in Cincinnati? We plan on paying Jamar Chase because he's earned it and deserves it.
Right.
How many years has he not proved that he's earned it and deserved it? And now he gets
game 1 of his rookie year.
Yeah, it's like when they sat down, they're like, the only way we're going to give you $40 million a year, you got to win the Triple Crown as a wide receiver. Oh, crap. He did it.
Oh, my. All right. So now we got to pay you.
Yeah. So back to the Chiefs.
Yeah. So number 4, I've got Hollywood Brown. I think, I would like to bring Hollywood Brown back, but I mean, I'm sure there's some better options that are going to be presenting itself. Binkley's been talking about a wide receiver in the draft, so he would be 4th on my list.
Yeah, Reed would be 4th because I like the young safeties that the Chiefs have. I think Jaden Hicks, the little run that he got, I felt like he really started to flourish at the end of the season. We've seen Shamari Connor fight through injury, but when he's healthy, look good. And
Cook,
and
doesn't cost you a lot of money?
Yeah, Cook, thank you. And then that's a position, that whole secondary, Veach seems to kind of excel in.
No doubt.
Yeah, that seems to be his bread and butter.
And, Juan Thornhill's available.
Oh, I know. Juan's out there. Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I just think when you look at the importance of this team and look at the free agents that are available on this list, Trey Smith protects the biggest asset on your team.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Bolton's the quarterback of your defense.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood Brown is a skill threat.
Right.
And Justin Reed is a veteran safety.
Okay.
And that's not a shot at Justin Reed. I think he's a great guy. He was super nice to us at the media night at the Super Bowl. He I don't know if he recognized Mac and I, but he let us ask him like 3 or 4 questions before he let anybody else ask him questions.
He's a great human being. Like, he's that guy like you want dating your daughter type of guy. He's awesome.
And Mac had a really good point where he says it's a cultural thing. Like, that's a guy who's similar to the role of Tyrann Mathieu. Like, you brought that guy in to replace Tyrann Mathieu.
Right.
He had the same sort of, mantra. Like, he was a locker room guy. He was a voice of a defense. He's basically the quarterback in the secondary or the center fielder of your defense. So it's like, what's more important, the center fielder of your defense or the quarterback of your defense? And to me, it just slightly goes to Nick Bolton.
Yeah.
And he's younger.
Yeah. And he is younger. There's no question about that, right? So we'll see how it all plays out. And, like I said, Joe made a great point. Like, if you pay Trey Smith, then you're probably not going to be paying the other 3, or you could pay the other 3 and not pay Trey Smith. And it seems like the Chiefs for all these years would side with paying 3 as opposed to paying 1. But if they view Trey Smith as one of those building blocks, can't miss, futuristic, all-time Chiefs, like they do with, like, if he's in that same camp as Chris Jones and Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, and they view him in that same vein, then they're going to pay Trey Smith. If they don't view him in that same vein, they may let him go and then keep the other 3 guys around.
How old do you guys think Justin Reed is?
29.
Okay.
30.
Yeah, I would have said 32. He just turned 11 days ago. He just turned 28.
28. Okay.
So how old is Bolton?
Let me check.
26?
Yes, 25 or 26.
25 or 26, yeah, because he
So the
came in
age
at
thing is-
22. Yeah.
Age thing is, but what we say about football in 30.
Yeah, 30. But football, football, you hit 30, you're done. Baseball, you hit 30, you're just beginning.
24.
So Bolton's 24. He's got
25 next month. Yeah.
Okay, so 25. So, but even still, he's in the prime of his career. Justin Reed will be signing a contract that will be giving him probably the last 2 years of his prime and maybe a year or so over 30. Are you willing to spend on that? Are you willing to give a contract that has the out after his 29th birthday? That kind of thing. So there's a lot of decisions to be made, but these are like good decisions to be made. These are good conversations to have because it shows you how many great players and difference makers you really have on your team.
I could be wrong, but I was kind of going through that list. It looks like the Eagles and the Chiefs have the most free agencies on this list.
Oh, wow.
And both teams are represented in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and that's why the boy wonder over there in Philadelphia, Howie Roseman, said the team's going to look a lot different, and Philadelphia fans are freaking out. Yeah, 30 players are gone from both of these teams, regardless of who,
Does this offseason...
Or not 30, a third, I should say.
Does this offseason solidify who's the better GM with the moves they make?
No, because
Roseman
Veach
and
still
Veach?
has the rings.
Fair.
They beat each other one time head-to-head. Probably need a third Super Bowl.
Yeah, need a third
You
Super
need
Bowl.
a third
Best out of
Super Bowl.
three.
Yeah, best out of three. No, I love that question because it's what we it's sports radio today. What we do, who's better, Howie Roseman or Brett Veach? The answer is Brett Veach until it's not, right?
I'll ask you this one too: which gap is closer, Veach and Roseman, or Mahomes and Allen?
Veach and Roseman, I think. Because Allen still has no championships. Howie Roseman now has
But Allen's damn good.
I'm just
Bob.
thinking. I'm just thinking from a skill perspective, like they're at their job, not necessarily the end result.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
But Howie Roseman has 2 Super Bowls with 2 different head coaches, 2 different quarterbacks, a backup quarterback, and not that he did that, but I mean he put the team together.
And Veach has done it with.
And Veach
And
has
I'm
done
not trying
it,
to
yeah.
knock on Brett Veach, but he's done it with the greatest quarterback of our generation.
Yeah, no, I think
and the second greatest coach.
Yeah,
and the
First
greatest tight end.
the greatest tight end. But no, I think the gap is closer between Veach and Roseman than it is between Mahomes and Josh Allen. Until Josh Allen can get over that hump, I'm just not going to give him the respect.
That's fair. I'm okay with that.
Okay, so which gap is closer, Allen and Burrow or Veach and Roseman?
Allen and Burrow probably.
Really? Oh, because you think it's that close.
Yeah.
You think he's I would
Burrow's
go
been to
Veach
the
and
Super
Roseman.
Bowl. I mean, Burrow's been there,
I'd go Veach and Roseman on that.
Would
one.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Why? You think Josh Allen is that much better than Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I think it's Mahomes, little gap, Allen, huge gap, and then everyone else.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Where do you find Justin Herbert on there? Because
One of the best of all time.
Harbaugh says he's the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
God, I love him. He's God's gift.
Cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Locked, cocked, and ready to rock.
That's what it is.
If worms had
Today.
machine guns, then birds wouldn't be scared of them.
If worms had machine guns, birds wouldn't be afraid of them.
Worms don't have arms.
Earthworm Jim does.
How are they going to carry anything? Do you guys remember Lowly Worm? He was the worm that wore a hat and one shoe back in the Richard Scarry days.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, look it up.
Okay.
Lowly Worm. Look up Lowly Worm. Okay, the man wore a shoe and a hat. He had no arms.
Mm-hmm.
How would he carry anything? So if a worm had a machine gun, I think we'd all be in shock.
Well, what if it was like that? What's that movie that Tarantino did and Rodriguez, where the girl has a machine gun on her leg? Death Metal or Metal Death Proof? I think it's Death Proof.
I've never even heard of that one.
Oh, it's great.
Is
Kurt
it-
Russell's in it.
is he?
Oh, it's a great movie.
Quentin
Death
Tarantino?
Proof. Death Proof. That is a great movie.
What's it called?
Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Yeah, he drives a car. He's just death proof.
At some point, you just want to check out, though, don't you?
I mean, it's actually a really good movie, and she's hot, and she has that little machine gun for her leg. She's like, if LeVar Ball needed a new amputee, he could have that.
Yeah.
He got his foot cut off.
I know he did, yeah.
You think he still thinks he's the same height?
He still thinks he could beat MJ one-on-one.
Yeah,
Good for him, though. Good for him.
hell
He
yeah.
got us through COVID.
He really did.
Yeah. So did barbecue, and Bob will tell you how that is on the other side. We'll get to some unreal sports achievements on the other side here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Fescoe, Dusty, Mac, and Kansas City sports. Shout out, Josh.
Fescoe and Dusty. Subscribe and watch the show on YouTube by going to our channel at The Fan 96.5, Kansas City's FM sports station. 96.5 The Fan.
I was talking to my guy Josh from Smokehouse Barbecue the other night. We went and saw Sebastian Maniscalco and had a nice little evening. And we were talking about some of the new menu items at Smokehouse Barbecue. How about pork bellies? Yeah, pork belly burnt ends are having at Smokehouse Barbecue. You got to get those and try them and tell me how awesome they are. Because if Smokehouse Barbecue's putting them on the menu, you know they are fantastic. And, of course, I was suggesting my menu items to Josh the other night. I said, we got to do burnt end tacos, man. They are so good. I make them at home with the leftover burnt ends from Smokehouse Barbecue. The next morning, mix them with some eggs and some barbecue sauce. They are absolutely perfect. And that's what Smokehouse Barbecue is all about, making sure you have the perfect event. Whether it's just a quick dinner out, it's a quick lunch, maybe you're catering. Smokehouse Barbecue can cater. And as we get closer and closer to the spring, you know what's starting to happen. We're going to start talking about graduation parties and summertime events. Let Smokehouse Barbecue cater all of those events for you, from the ribs to the burnt ends to the world-famous hickory pit beans, and, of course, their Cajun butter chicken wings that I love. And now their pulled pork sandwich, or pulled chicken sandwich, I should say, is phenomenal. Make sure you get it the next time you stop in to Smokehouse Barbecue. You can check them out at one of their 3 locations, Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Going down in the rinse straight.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean.
Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Hey, Missouri sports fans, I've got good news. Underdog is available to play in your state. This basketball season, team up with your favorite stars and have a chance to win money from watching sports over at Underdog. From fast breaks to buzzer beaters to block parties, there's nothing as exciting as basketball. With Underdog, you can bring that excitement to wherever you watch. Playing on their app is as easy as choosing higher or lower on player stats like threes made, points, rebounds, and so much more. Get those selections right, and you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Millions of fans have won billions on Underdog. You gotta be next? Download the Underdog app and sign up now using that promo code TAP to unlock a special offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Join in on the fun when you sign up with that promo code TAP. Claim your special offer today, and you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-426-0177. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-426-0177. 800-426-0177. That's 800-426-0177.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Empower
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-656-1551. That's 800-656-1551. 800-656-1551.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Metro Ford, online at kcmetroford.com. Missouri side 71 northbound gets pretty heavy past 87th Street, stays quite slow up to 75th Street with some potholes reporting in the area. Now new trouble as you make your way southbound around 75th Street. You may have a lane blocked that direction. Metro Ford off Noland Road in Independence is your Ford F-150 headquarters. Right now get over $13,000 in savings on select new XLT Ford F-150s. When's the last time you saw deals like that? These trucks are moving fast, so hurry to Metro Ford online at kcmetroford.com. See dealer for details. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
I was wondering how many people would hear that Earthworm Jim comment that I made. Technically, I think Earthworm Jim's suit has arms, and he is just a worm in the suit. Still has arms. And then, of course, Planet Terror. It's a double feature. Death Proof and Planet Terror is the movie with the lady with the machine gun for the leg. You get it. That was close enough. It's like that first touchdown in the game for the Eagles where the guy thought he got a touchdown. They reviewed it just to delay it to do the tush push, but then Chris Jones tried to do a sideways dive and then hurt his neck. Jim Stesasaur, Dinosaur, that said that's the guy that did the index. I don't know.
Gene Steratore?
Steratore?
Yeah, Gene Steratore.
He was the index card guy?
Stare at the floor.
He's the guy on CBS, right?
Yeah. Gene.
Yeah.
Gene.
Gene. That's the guy who did it?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And then somebody asked from the 913, where does Dan Kilgore land on the list of guys?
Yeah, he is available if anybody would like.
People going back to the free agency conversation we had, Rice is going to be suspended for some of the season. I think you need to value Hollywood Brown more.
And that's a great point from the text line. That's a good respect the text, but how long do we think he's going to be suspended
4
for?
games.
4 games? Is that what everybody's just kind of planning on?
I'm just going to stick with 4 games, and when it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, it's only 2, then I win.
Yeah, and you think because of injury he misses 2 to 4, maybe?
Right.
So
no, I've seen his Instagram. He's pushing some weighted sleds.
Do you think we'll get him suspended at the beginning of the season, and get it done with, or do you think this is going to be one of those things that drags out forever and a day? When's his court date? Wasn't that supposed to be in December, and then it got moved to January or something?
What if in the NFL they told you your player's suspended and you could pick the 4 games?
Oh, that would be cool.
Raiders, Chargers. I'm kidding.
No, I would never make that public, right? If the NFL did that, I mean,
that'd be hilarious.
All right, you guys, this guy's suspended for 4 games. Which ones? Oh, okay. Where's our schedule again?
We'll take week 18.
All right.
We'll take the Jaguars.
Yeah. We'll
Who
take
else
the
do we-
Colts, and we'll go with Arizona. Yeah, that's who we'll go with. No, that would be kind of funny if you could pick the days of when your guy's suspended. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see how long he ends up getting suspended for and what this team does in the offseason. Maybe they have their eye on somebody else. It's safe to say, like DeAndre Hopkins, we're probably not going to see that guy anymore. You want to talk about a washed player? People want to throw Travis Kelce under the bus for that kind of stuff. DeAndre Hopkins looked pretty washed last year. He had that first catch or whatever when he came here. That drop in the Super Bowl kind of put a bow, I think, on DeAndre Hopkins' career as far as I'm concerned. That big drop.
You remember what I said to you as soon as it happened?
Game over.
I said, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was the one opportunity they had.
He really looked a step slow once he got here. We were real excited about it, but he never really had that big of an impact. I wouldn't even consider bringing him back. I would consider Hollywood Brown, right? I absolutely would consider Hollywood. I'd love to see a full season of Hollywood Brown, but you don't know what their plans are, right? You don't know. Maybe this is a great draft and they want to draft a wide receiver, or there's a free agent out there that they've had an eye on since the draft, when he came out 5 years ago or whatever the case may be. So they'll be fine at that wide receiver spot. They'll be good. They'll be great, and they'll do their thing. So I'd like them back, but I just don't know that it's an issue for me, and that's why it's different. That's why the conversation is good.
The algorithms on social media is insane because there's a picture right now. It's from Mark the Caddy, and it's two kids on a chalkboard, and it says 38 plus 36. One kid draws 74. The other girl writes 2 over par.
That's like 6 plus 4 plus 3 equals 2. And like if you're a baseball fan, you're like, I get with that. That's fun. I like that.
Right. It's just, God, I could go play golf again. It's such a crazy itch for me. I got to get better. Somebody says, hey, the win today might help your 88.
The 88's good. Like,
It's
you talk about great sports achievements, which we're going to do here in a second. Like, if I went out and broke 100, I'd lose my mind. And I haven't played golf in a long, long time, and I never will again. It's just not my thing, right? But like an 88, like I'm proud of you, man. Like that's pretty good.
It's really good.
Like that's impressive.
It's not though.
Not for Tiger, maybe, but I mean, those douchebags on the course that were getting into a fight, you're better than they are.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're fighting on the golf course, you're just a Richard.
Yeah,
I mean that's up there. I mean, we already have staked claim with our Richard of the Week. I think we all three are unanimous on this, even though 2 of you guys are Kansas natives, but. Yeah, we know who that is this week.
Yeah, Denny Hoskins. But it's still, I mean,
that guy sucks.
On either side of the state line, you want legalized gambling. You want people to be able to do what they want.
You might be at a friend's dinner and a game starts at 9 and you're hanging out and having cocktails. You're Ubering, so you're going to get home safe. And you're like, yeah, let's throw some cash on this game. Why not?
But I mean, if you're sitting at the ballpark or something, or just give people the ability to do what they want and don't interfere. It's not affecting you.
Yeah.
So why do you care if people are gambling on sports, especially when you're surrounded by legalized gambling and you literally are impacting small businesses in your state because instead of people going to the Buffalo Wild Wings in Sedalia, they're going to the Buffalo Wild Wings on Metcalf in Kansas. You're hurting small businesses, and that's what Denny Hoskins doesn't understand. He's hurting his constituents. He's hurting the people of the state of Missouri. He's hurting business owners, and he's hurting the coffers of the state by doing that. There is not one good reason that gentleman, and I use that term gentleman, can give that will be a term that makes sense, because everything that he's saying right now about why you don't want to legalize this and pass this and get this thing through is wrong. And it's also a bad look because the people voted on this. Accept the results and move on.
From the Babylon Bee,
it's so good, the Babylon Bee.
The fake news you can trust. It says, God confirms heaven will have a Buc-ee's.
Nice.
So that could be a non-popular achievement. We ask you, 913-586-7965, what is your most unreal sports achievement? Because there was a high school team that won 39 straight titles.
39 straight swimming championships. I mean, think about that. You're not even 39 years old. You're 10 years, 12 years from being 39. I'm
13.
Long past 39. But this team at Carmel, Indiana, has won the state championship in girls swimming 39 years in a row.
You think they call it Caramel, Indiana?
I think it's caramel, actually. I think it is. I think it's. But how about that? Like
That's
39 straight years of being the champs at something. Like I don't know that there's anything my greatest sports achievement. Hell, if I know, I walked in a winning run one time. I mean, I don't know that I've ever done anything even close. I didn't finish last in the 500 once in high school. Like. I don't have great sports achievements.
You were a left tackle. Did you have like a game where you?
I didn't ever give up a sack. You know.
Did you have more?
You never gave up a sack?
Not my senior year. No,
dude, that's it.
Yeah. Did you have more?
Hell?
Your senior year, did you have more pancakes on the field or off the field?
Oh, off the field.
I was a left tackle, dude. Come on.
Off the field. Come on. You've seen the pictures.
Yeah. No, I think it is. Unreal sports achievements are kind of funny. And it's also nobody cares. I won back-to-back titles in fantasy football one year, and went to a third straight. So I pulled the Chiefs, lost.
Your offensive line was in tatters that day.
No, I just got really arrogant. I was like, if I win a third straight title, I'm dropping out of the league, and everyone's like, "Oh, cool, awesome, sweet, you're a douche." And then I was like, yeah, nobody cares about this. It's an unreal achievement. But I did win back-to-back titles in fantasy football in a competitive league.
And here's that jersey I wore that entire year where I didn't give up a sack playing left tackle. If you want to bid on this, what day are we doing it?
April 21st.
April 21st to raise money for the BMA Foundation. We're auctioning off junk that I found in my closet, a la, what's his name, Woj, who was auctioning off his press passes and like dead phones yesterday.
That's right.
For the NIL, so my wife's dancing for the BMA Foundation. I'm going to auction off my press passes and things that I find Woj style. And you got a great one, too.
Is your unreal achievement winning the Pacer test 4 years in a row in high school?
I did go ham in the Pacer test.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Gym class, I always went hard. I would say, damn it. You know what? I'll go with my close three-peat. NCAA football, went to the championship 3 times, couldn't quite get it, just like the Chiefs, but it was with Tulane, the Green Wave. Just did it with the new game. It was pretty great.
The puck is dropped, and it's 4-0 in the opening period. And Razor just took
that's
another
an unreal
one,
achievement.
and that was a rocket.
Razor took another one.
Like it's just common.
The puck is dropped, and it's 4-0 in the opening period.
There's Razor with another one.
Razor Ramon. So, yeah, if you have an unreal achievement or one that nobody cares about, 913-586-7965. We'd love to hear it. I shot the game-winning 3 in a game once in high school. I would have to take a crap ton of acid to get that euphoric feeling back again.
That's cool, man.
I hit for the cycle in a league softball game.
Nice.
I had a walk-off home run for a win in my E-League softball league this fall.
Nice.
Golly. That's hilarious. I had a 102-yard rushing touchdown. Was called back because my dumbass receiver blocked someone in the back at the 50-yard line while I was crossing the end zone. We fought after the game.
You played with Kadarius Toney?
That's exactly right.
That's great. I hit for the cycle in the
E-League. That's really good. I like that.
Or no, I hit a walk-off home run in an E-League. Man, what was that score? 1-0? Somebody says Rockhurst men's swimming won state champs 13 years in a row, I believe.
This team won 39, though.
Yeah, they did go on to say not as impressive, but pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
13 in a row is great. 2 in a row is good.
Yeah, nobody cares about your fantasy team, does see it. Nobody cares about your golf score. Coming up on the other side, we get back into we kind of saw it coming all along, and also so did Clark Hunt. And, well, it's Chris Jones' Twitter season once again. Here, you're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty.
I just want to say how awesome it is to have Bob Fescoe and Legend Likens on every morning to start my day. I freaking love you guys.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Folks are always asking me about QC Kinetics treatments. They want to know if they should consider it for their joint pain. If you're wondering if you are a good candidate, let's see if you answered a yes to any of these questions. First question, is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or other joints? Do you have trouble sleeping, walking, and doing day-to-day movements? Next, do you want to avoid surgery and all of the pain, long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? And most importantly, do you miss doing things you love because joint pain is holding you back? Walking, golfing, jogging. If you answered yes to any of those, I bet you'd be a great candidate. So please don't wait. Call QC Kinetics right now and ask for your free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can get you lasting pain relief with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
March is almost here, and college basketball is reaching its most exciting stretch of the season. Right now, new customers on FanDuel get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 wager wins. That's $150 extra bucks to bet on everything from conference clashes to tournament upsets to even who you think is going to cut down the nets. You guys know I like my Missouri Tigers, and I got a feeling this could be the year that they make a deep run in the tournament. So don't wait anymore. And if you've been waiting to join FanDuel, there's no better time than the present. The app is easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/KFNZ, use my promo code, and get in on the March basketball action. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is novel drop bonus badge, which expires 7 days after street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit KSGamblingHelp.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
T-Mobile 5G home internet keeps getting better. Get our fastest connection loaded with benefits. Get T-Mobile's best home internet starting at $55 a month with auto pay and any voice line. Plus, Price Lock. We won't raise your rate on internet. Check availability at T-Mobile.com/home internet.
Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. Guarantees regular monthly rate plan price of fixed wireless 5G internet data with qualifying service. After $15 bill credit with postpaid voice line plus $5 a month without auto pay with debit or bank account. Regulatory fees included for qualifying accounts. $35 connection charge applies. Speeds vary due to factors affecting cellular networks.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side, 35 southbound, sluggish from 75th Street up past 635. And then 29 southbound on the Missouri side. Things are a little slow heading into downtown from around Armour. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for K-State Athletics. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back?
I didn't believe this guy at first. They were talking about achievements that are unreal. Guy said he hit for the cycle with the local bar 4 women and 4 different nights. I said, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
He responds back with, Clancy's in Blue Springs, home of the divorcees and community college honeys. You know what I'm talking about, Dusty. Now I believe you.
The same bar 4 nights in a row?
Dude, Clancy's was a staple in Blue Springs. That's where I cut my teeth. Getting in that place. It doesn't matter now because it's closed. When I was getting in that place at 20 years old, my buddy's dad, Doug, R.I.P. Doug, miss you forever. But Big Ernie would let us in. Big Ern.
Where was that located?
Outer Road of I-70. So I don't know what that outer road, north outer road. I don't know. It was on the outer road. There was like on your way to like if you're going east towards like Grain Valley, Oak Grove on the right side.
Yeah,
was Clancy's. Used to be like a Waffle House or a White Castle.
Okay.
There used to be a hotel there. There might still be, but there was a hotel. Clancy's. Go down the road. There was like an IMAX, like the wall climbing place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. On Sundays, they had all-you-could-eat wings for Chiefs games.
How much?
I mean, like $6. I don't know,
Oh,
but that's when the Chiefs were terrible. You got one of those wooden bowls from the 90s.
Yeah.
Went to the wing
Like
bar.
the
filled
Hooters,
up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
ate it, man. So, man.
That sounds actually good. All you can eat wings for $6.
Yeah, the Chiefs played at noon.
Yeah.
So you got they were terrible.
Brody Croyle playing quarterback. But by God, we got all you can eat wings for $6.
Yeah, it was great, man. Like, gosh, I miss Clancy's. Ernie was such a great bartender. He would be like, all right, if I can make this behind my back, you got to buy shots. If I miss, I'll buy. He never made it.
Never made it.
That's
no.
awesome.
Off Jefferson. That's what it is. Yeah. So that's, that's the old stomping grounds. No longer open. It's now like an event space. So, yeah.
Imagine having your event in a former White Castle.
Yeah,
Like, where's your wedding?
I think,
At this former White Castle. That would be actually kind of cool.
I thought it may or may not have been a White Castle. I know there was a White Castle on the outer road in Blue Springs, but yeah, that was a place. You could definitely land. You could definitely injure drought at Clancy's if you know what I'm saying. More greatest achievements of all time coming on the text line. Got a bunch of Uncle Ricos out here. Hole-in-one at KC Country Club in front of my Boston coworkers.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
That would be really cool. Just a hole-in-one in front of anybody would be awesome.
Yeah, that should be. I'm changing mine. I have an ace in disc golf. That's easily my best sports achievement. Easily. Yeah. Whatever.
Good for you. I'll give you credit. I don't want to be that guy. Good for you.
It's still cool. 400 feet, an ace.
Oh, okay. How many feet?
Over 400.
That's pretty tight, actually.
Yeah,
that's a home run. I mean, that's
it's really far.
Yeah, no, it is. It is far,
and it moves a lot. Yeah.
I was reading a tweet from a buddy of mine who works in Atlanta, and he was like out in left field at Truist Park the other day or whatever. He goes, "Oh my God, I'm getting arthritis in my arm just looking at how far it is to throw that ball to second base." Right? Yeah. I mean, you think about, it's no big deal. Then you go out there and you look back and like, holy cow, this is far.
No way.
And these guys are hosing. So 400 feet with a frisbee, what I'm trying to get to, that's pretty damn good. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Felt good.
Ernie McCush, baby. Big Earn. That's right. You better believe it. Shout out Big Earn. Clancy's closed down years ago. It's a wedding event place now.
Thank you.
I mean, like, come on. Literally just said it's like an event space and it closed. Like, now I know how you feel when I do that to you.
Thanks for listening.
I am always going to
they
listen.
are on a 14-second delay.
That's fair.
You know,
that is fair.
And
or
that
maybe
text did come in pretty quick.
Maybe it's a 60-second delay with Mac and I in the studio.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe they're on the app, which even further delays it. So, you know.
So not getting our contracts extended. Oh, gosh.
So it is that he's back season, but we knew he was coming back, beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And Clark Hunt told us 2 weeks plus ago that Travis Kelce will be around.
No doubt about it. One of. Come on, Clark.
Yeah, I mean,
One of.
I may have to pay this guy again. I don't want to say he's the best, and then they can use that against me. But we knew 2 weeks ago that he was coming back. There was never a doubt in my mind that Travis Kelce was going to retire and walk away from the game.
There was if he won.
I don't know.
I thought we got to that conclusion.
Maybe I know what I would have done, but I don't know that he would have done that. Like if you win the Super Bowl, you've three-peated, you absolutely, in my opinion, I would have walked away. But I'm not a competitive athlete. I'm not a guy who says, once I end this, I can't do this anymore. And so once you close that door on being an athlete, it's not going to open anymore. Now, the Gronk thing that we can get to is interesting because he claims he's wants to come back. I saw an interview with the GM of the Broncos yesterday, and he goes, "Well, yeah, I just had heard that. They haven't told me. I don't hear anything about Gronk coming back, and so if he wants to, fine. But I haven't heard anything about that. But once you close that door, you're not kicking it back open again. And so that's why I think people want decisions. And that was the other thing, too. Veach goes, there's no timetable on this. Who was the one who came up with the timetable, too, that Travis Kelce had in, to the 18th? Like, that all of a sudden became, gospel out there. And Veach is like, that's never been an issue. We're not putting a timetable on Travis Kelce. I mean, the league year starts. We'd like that, but we're not going to put a timetable on it. And I think also, too, with Travis, you get away from the emotion. You get away from the of the Super Bowl, and you realize, I got one more go around in me, man. I'm not passing this up. I'm going for one more year.
Right.
You win, it's a different conversation, though. Yeah.
Right. It's also Chris Jones' tweet season, where he kind of just lets it all hang out, no pun intended. But he tweeted yesterday, "My dog got to come back. We got unfinished business." How much money, comfortably, are you willing to put down that Travis Kelce's back next year?
All of it, yeah.
Everything you own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, you're not doing the Jeopardy where you leave all of it
$1?
but $1?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
So he's back.
Yeah.
No need to worry about it.
I mean, the owner said it. The GM said it yesterday.
This is the GM.
That's been the number one question here. And look, I think the way we're handling this is, in terms of deadlines, I've been hearing that a lot. I don't think there's a deadline with a guy like Travis. His communication with us after the season is that he was playing, and we look forward to having him back next season. If something does transpire in the next few months where something other than him playing pops up, then we'll deal with it. But I would say that where we sit right now, that Travis will be back next year, and again, looking forward to having him back.
Sounds like it had to be something catastrophically out of nowhere for him to be like, actually, guys, I'm out.
And you know what kind of competitor Travis Kelce is. You think that the last game that he's ever played in his career, he wants it to be a game where people like Boomer Esiason are questioning whether or not he has heart?
I mean, video is the biggest enemy to your game.
It is. And then you go back and you hear that, hey, maybe there's more to the story that Brett Veach said. Right, exactly. But that Travis has a better game if he's not, praying to the porcelain gods or whatever, being sick. Everybody's been sick. We get a little cold and we're like, I don't want to do anything. Imagine having the flu or whatever Travis had and playing in the Super Bowl, how difficult that is. And so that's the backstory to all of that. Oh, okay, he was sick. I heard Chris Jones had a case of the bubble guts too, So like a lot of these guys caught that bug at the worst possible time. They made it all week. They did everything they could to insulate and protect themselves. And diseases just happen. You happen to get sick. They just happen to get it at the wrong possible time. And so if I'm Travis Kelce, the last thing I want the last 3 weeks, everybody ripping my game and saying I'm washed and I'm no good because I was sick during the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm coming back for another one to give all these people a nice big poop burger to eat.
Right. I mean, no excuses for me. You lost. You got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
I don't care if you you still play the game. You strapped up. You put your pads on. You put your jersey on. You put your helmet. You buckled your chin strap in. You lost.
What would people have said, though, if he didn't play and they said he didn't play because he had the flu? People are like, this is the Super Bowl. You got to play with the flu. So it's like a no-win for Travis,
Somebody says your YouTube broadcast says you're still on commercial break, but you're not.
YouTube tends to lie to us, I guess.
It's telling the truth. Sorry.
You're okay, man. It's fine. We're at the end of the show. You checked out. We get it. It's okay.
We are going to commercial break, so just leave it.
Right, I should have left it.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely going to commercial break now, but it's okay because during the commercial break,
I'm not in trouble at all. Now we should be able to look at a little porn at work.
Bob Fescoe, Dusty, like his Mac Morty, listen 96.5 The Fan, your home, Kansas City Sports.
Fescoe and Dusty.
913-586-7965. Call in right now and tell me how much I suck.
On Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And though I generally talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction and other men's sexual health issues, today I want to talk about love. Because love is the best reason to get treated for your ED. You see, ED can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, and even contribute to divorce. But the good news is that if you're like most men suffering with ED, you can be successfully treated at Heartland Men's Health and put a stop to the relationship stresses that ED can cause. I say this with all confidence because we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Surely, it's likely you'll find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get the love back in your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
It's February. What is more romantic than a new toilet? 2. This month we are offering buy one, get one half off a toilet replacement. Win those brownie points and call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
What would you do if you could go back in time with the tap of a button?
Watch the ancient Egyptians build the pyramids?
How'd they do it?
Buy enough Bitcoin to purchase your very own private island.
Or maybe just skip the joke that flopped at the holiday party.
Unfortunately, we haven't figured out how to rewind time. But you can rewind live shows with the free Odyssey app.
Never miss your favorite sports talk again. To get started, download Odyssey and search for your station.
Facing displacement can be an overwhelming and uncertain time, whether it's due to a job transfer, unexpected life changes, or unforeseen circumstances. The Sharp Homes team, they're here to provide stability and support. My friend Dawn Sharp can help you get through the home buying and selling process. That's why if you're looking to buy or sell a home, contact my friend Dawn Sharp, brokered by Epic Realty. They can give you options as well. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, you can discuss their instant offer program. Google Sharp Homes team or visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com.
Today, expect light rain followed by mostly sunny skies with a high of 60.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Diving right back into it in the 9 o'clock hour here on Fescoe and Dusty, 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
Coming out of the NFL this morning, it's news and rumor season as we are at the Combine. And I'm convinced that's what the Combine's for, just to create news and rumors and all that kind of stuff. Nobody's running or doing anything anymore, but the rumors are great. This comes from Jordan Ron, a New York Giant insider. Quote, "It's pretty clear the Giants' top priority at quarterback is Matthew Stafford."
As it should be.
And yeah, because I told you guys, I said, you sign a guy or trade for a guy like Matthew Stafford when you've been in an organization that's been looking for a quarterback since Eli retired, you kind of just let out a deep breath, right? Don't you feel more calm knowing that you have that veteran in the room? And for that reason alone, it's worth the $50 million a year that you could potentially spend on Matthew Stafford. And I know that sounds like a big number, $50 million. Then you look around and you see there are 9 other quarterbacks in the NFL that are already making $50 million. And how many of those 9 would you choose over Matthew Stafford right now? Joe Burrow is one, and Jared Goff is on that list that you could have the conversation about.
I think I'd have Stafford over Goff.
And that's an interesting one because I think Goff is more of a product of his system than Matthew Stafford is. Matthew Stafford was good in Detroit.
Yes.
You know, I think Goff is good. Now, Goff was good in L.A., obviously, but he's been really, really good in Detroit. I think that's a good spot for him right now. So that's a guy that I would probably take if I was thinking about it. I would probably take Stafford over Goff. There's not many of these guys that are making $50 million or more right now at that quarterback position that I would be willing to take over Matthew Stafford at this point in time. Joe Burrow may be the only one on that list. I'm trying to find the list again, and I'll pull it up and let you know who's on that list. But I know there's Tua's on that list. Trevor Lawrence is on that list. Like, I'm not taking any of those guys over Matthew Stafford at this point in time.
Well, I think you could also say, like, where do you rank Matthew Stafford in top quarterbacks in the NFL currently? Is he 7th?
Yeah, right around.
Yeah. So the only people